Dude, the peener is popping out. What can I say? All right, so welcome everyone. This is the debut of my podcast. So doing a podcast has been like a big passion project for me. I've always wanted to do either a morning talk show on radio or a podcast. Here we are, live with my first podcast, Cut to the Chase, and with me today is the Linfield kicking king.
That's right, baby.
ohthebutter.
That's right.
Yo,
welcome.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Yeah,
today.
welcome.
Welcome. We got the partly cloudy skies outside, nice 70 degrees. Crisp wind coming through my window. That's the exact same
weather as what's going on right here. Yeah, you're updoing me though, man, with that shirt. Like, I don't know, man. Just
hey, listen,
it looks
for everybody listening
nice in
right
summertime,
now, the place to shop to save the most money and to look the best, I'm telling you right now, Ross. Dress for less, baby. Don't let anybody ever give you shit for dressing from Ross. Okay, this shirt right here, $7. Okay,
$7.
Justin Bieber. Okay, like Justin Bieber. You look like Justin Bieber on the streets. It's gonna be. That's what I'm saying. Ross is the spot.
Be looking like Justin Bieber. Yeah. I feel it, man. I see it. Dude, the hair, you got the crisp hair, you got that cut going down the side. Listen, that's all I got right here is a bald spot, so that's like the best cut that I have going on,
you got the nice fade though. I mean, you got a little bit of we got a little fade.
It's
we got
the
like
best
a
I can do.
1 to 2 fade up the side.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Looking like a general in the army, baby.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's a haircut I used to do when I played baseball, so just reverting back to my roots. Yeah.
Yup.
And going off of just the crisp look of Butter right now. I mean, look at those glasses, man. He makes Harry Potter look cool, Dude, my glasses, like in 2010, these were hipster. Not anymore. It's all about the round frames,
You got the dad glasses though.
Dude, I just got the dad look going compared to you.
You got the dad. You got the chest hair. You got the wide shirt. You got the tall boy.
Yeah, I don't have like crisp merch peeking through. I got chest hair, man. I'm showing my age right now. I got chest hair coming through.
Bro. See, I can't grow the beard and the stash because like my face, dude. I'm a baby. I can't do it.
I don't know how I feel about like the beard because here's the problem. Like it's really patchy right here. Not right here, not along the chin line, but like right above it on the cheeks. It's pretty patchy. And I was told that's because like when I lay on my pillow, because I lay like face planted in, I guess like it makes it hard for the beard to grow. I don't know. It may just be an excuse.
See, I wouldn't have even noticed that if you wouldn't have, pointed it out. I see, like for me, when I see a beard, like the flaws, they're hidden within, I'm not going to notice them until you say like, yo, I got a patchy beard, bro. And I'm going to be like, listen, man, your beard, it looks amazing. That's all that matters.
Well, I appreciate that.
Hey, no worries, baby.
All right, so something that I guess first thing that I want to talk about. So I was originally going to start this podcast on Sunday. You guys can catch it live Wednesday nights, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, or Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And it was going to be pending, how you did in the Fortnite World Cup. Well, you advanced to round 2. Did you advance? Did you? How'd you do on Sunday?
So someone like me, so let me give you the lowdown. So I just recently switched to a fully set up dual PC setup. Before I was just a casual player, Right. I would play like dual fills. I would talk to people, goof around. If I popped off, sometimes I'd pop off.
Right.
But ever since I started to switch to the dual PC setup, I've been starting to take Fortnite a lot more competitively. I've been grinding, the creative. I've been cranking 90s to Juice World. Like I've been doing the full, 1080 flip around of just.
Yeah, dude, I've been watching.
So it definitely has improved. I have no input lag. I got no other issues. So when that World Cup was announced, I decided I'm gonna go for it, baby. So it's been about 3 weeks since I've had the dual PC setup. I have switched from a casual player to a competitive player. So every day, we're getting better and better. Like I'm not the best right now, and my chat knows that. Like my aim, it's a little shaky. My mechanics is a little shaky.
Dude, but my whole life is shaky. It's all right.
So when the World Cup came out, so I made it to Champion Division and Arena. That took me about 3 days to get there. Everybody was down. They're like, Butter, you're never going to get the champion. And I showed them, baby. I grinded like a 12-hour stream, 4 a.m., hit champion that night. Woke up with refreshed. I started having hair growing on my kneecaps. Like, it was a life.
Man, I've been way there.
so once
see
the
this
World
chest
Cup came
hair?
out,
It's not just on the chest,
it's on the kneecaps. So
that's right. It's on the kneecaps.
After I made champion for Arena, and I saw the World Cup come out, the biggest esports tournament ever, $40 million prize pool. Even though the West Coast didn't get as much prize money as East Coast, I said, I'm going to go for it, baby. So first round, didn't do too hot. I'm somebody who's a very aggressive player. I played Call of Duty back in the day. Like I'm known for W King. I'm very aggro. I see somebody, I go after him. Like I don't have that patience, man. And it's probably my ADHD, but the games I've grown up on, I got to be aggressive. Like I can't play passive. So Fortnite being a battle royale in the World Cup where every single kid is just the sweatiest kid ever.
Right.
The first couple games didn't do too hot, had 0 points, but towards the end, I locked down, got myself some Starbucks, started sitting in 1x1s, and what do you know, the points came in. So we qualified.
Nice, dude.
In the semis, we made it to the finals. For the West Coast, I placed I think 1,500 on the West Coast for the semis. Finals though,
dude, 1,600. Like you think about that, like compared to how many people were playing that,
Oh, and that's exactly. And in the finals, the way I was dying and the way I was getting eliminated, because you have a limited amount of games you can play, you get 10 matches. It was ridiculous. Like there was kids hitting the luckiest shots they have ever hit in their entire life, like with common hunting rifles, bro. I'm talking like 200 plus damage from 200 meters, bro. Right? It makes no sense. So the game was tilting me, but at the end of the day, I said I can't even get mad at myself. It's my first time ever playing comp Fortnite. So from only being a competitive Fortnite player for 3 weeks, placing top 1,500 on West Coast and the best tournament Fortnite's ever had, like I can't be mad. And that's what I was saying to myself. I was like, at the end of the day, we're only going to get better. We're only going to improve. I learned a lot from the tournament, and maybe just battle royales aren't for me, man. I don't know. I don't know if I could go to New York and sit at a LAN center, and like I would have to be on some massive amounts of Adderall to just be like, dude, my shot on fleek. Like I can't do that, man. I can't.
Dude, that reminds me of the first time I spent like a day at the University of Cincinnati's college campus, right? Like my first day of classes. I'm sitting there. It's a beautiful day out. Everyone's outside. You know how college campuses are during the beginning of the semester. Everyone's still excited from summer. Everyone's sitting outside. The weather's nice. I'm sitting down at the end of this, like, UC, we have like these giant steps. I'm sitting down at the end, and this guy sits down on the very far end. And over the period of like 45 minutes, because I was waiting for Sammy to get out of her class, over the period of 45 minutes, he just slowly inched his way closer and closer to me. And I knew what was coming. I was fully aware, fully prepared for it. And finally, about like 45 minutes into, he finally gets like shoulder to shoulder with me. He's like, "Hey, buddy." I was like, "What's up?" He's like, "Do you know where I can get some Adderall around here?" I was like, "Man, I'm brand new here. Come on."
You're a freshman? That's funny, man.
Yeah. It was.
What a way to enter college,
I know, right? It was like
the sketch guys on the steps asking for Adderall.
Dude, I kid you not. The very first day, it was like, well, here I am. So with the World Cup, right? You said that you play aggressively. Does it cater to aggressive plays, or do you want to wait till late game and try to win the game? How are points in the World Cup? I don't even know for sure.
So let me give you the lowdown.
Thank you.
Anybody who else is curious about this. So basically, you get a point every elim. So they reward, and the thing about the World Cup is normal solos and stuff like that, or normal game modes, you don't get this thing called siphon, where if you get a kill, you get 50 health. On top of whatever health you have. So it kind of encourages people to seek people out, do damage, because a lot of people will just get in these ballers, which is one thing I can go on a whole another tangent about. I don't know if you've heard anything about these ballers or seen.
Yeah. I've seen them.
I don't even know why they're in competitive Fortnite, because all it does is just encourage kids who have absolutely no skill to get these ballers and just hang off the side of the map.
Well, that's what Fortnite does, right? They introduce like airplanes right before and these ballers. And I feel like it's to try to help the skill gap of the bots like me who have no idea what they're doing, but think that they're going to try competing in it. But they're just so broken, and they take away the competitiveness of the entire game.
I agree. And I think that, like you said, I think Epic tries a lot harder on these issues, and they try way too hard to be like, okay, we got to find ways to balance the skill gap, make it to where kids who have no idea or have no mechanical skill are able to compete with these top tier level players. And I'd say Fortnite, it's like 50-50. Like, some people get rewarded for playing super aggressive, but those people have insane amounts of just mechanical skill, aim, decision making. Like, you have to be really smart if you're going to push people, especially in the World Cup. So it dedefinitely caters like 50-50. I'd say a lot of other people play really slow. They play really passive. They're constantly just rotating with boosted boards, launch pads, one by oneing whatever they can, just trying to get those placement points. And like, for me, I've noticed that if I play passive, I get points. But if I play aggressive, I'd say I sometimes get points, and other times I just get either totally cheesed on, or I do really well. So it's kind of like, I'd say it's 50-50, like half aggressive, half passive is kind of like the play style, I feel like, where it's divided. And then there's like that very small percentage, which I wouldn't even say small percentage. I'd say like 25% is just kids that are just in ballers with no skill that just roll around.
I saw a video on Twitter. I can't remember who posted it. Really funny. Just like, it was like Fortnite today or something like that. And it was him by himself, and literally they're like 10 ballers that come rolling up all at once, like late game. There's only like 12 people live, and 10 of them are in ballers. Just come rolling in.
There's these memes.
He has no idea what to do.
People have high ground, and it's like the last circle, the circle's so small, and they look down, and it's just one guy. Everybody down. There's just all these ballers just fucking making out with each other, and it's like, bro, it's like, what has Fortnite become? It blows my mind.
Bots in their balls,
That's what I'm saying.
They like balls. I mean,
I don't know why they do that. It's like, the planes were one thing. But then, especially these ballers, it's like, all right, either Epic just has no idea what they're doing, or they're just experimenting. They're like, let's have some fun. Let's anger some people. We're gonna have fun, So at the end of the day, though, I can't really get mad. I mean, it's a video game. I mean, people are gonna do what they got to do. But I think that's what kind of, if Fortnite didn't have these things for people to complain about and stuff, I feel like it kind of goes back to like the MW2 days. I don't know if you ever played MW2.
Oh yeah, dude, come on, man.
Time,
come on, high school.
So much shit. That's what I'm saying, dude. Those are the greatest things of my life. They were literally, all everybody would talk about is like the one-man army, like the noob tubes, like all that stuff, like all the broken parts of the game. But at the end of the day, those are the things that like made the game. If they didn't have those exploits or have those glitches or just totally OP stuff, the game would just be so bland. So Fortnite having all these things, like, I feel like it keeps people on the edge, because it's like, bro, it's like, come on, man, you're adding ballers, you're adding planes. It's like, you're just messing with the community. So at the end of the day, like, there's a silver lining when it comes to this kind of stuff. So
it's almost like one of those where it's like, any attention is still good attention. Even if people are going to complain, right, about Fortnite and everything, the fact of the matter is, they're still getting attention. There's still content out there, and that's where Fortnite has really prevailed over Apex Legends. I am so disappointed by Respawn in Apex Legends, because I got super into that, because I don't know, man, I'm getting older, and I just grew up so much on like first-person shooters alone. I could not figure out building. I'll admit that. That's why I don't really play Fortnite. I can't do the building. If I play duos with someone, like if I played with you better be building the ramps. I'll be right behind you. I'll shoot, but I'm not going to be building that tower.
Definitely.
I'm not going to be building a castle. But Apex Legends, man, they had so much potential. I mean, when they released like 10 million players like within the first week, like, that's ridiculous. They had the opportunity to be the next billion-dollar company. They had the next opportunity. They were the best opportunity to dethrone Fortnite, but they've abandoned it. They don't have any content for it. The season 1 battle pass was blah. There's no updates to it at all. And now Respawn announced they're doing that Star Wars game, and
But yeah, so I mean, I think the reason too Fortnite had so much success is it kind of they kind of made a game where, you know, it was for everybody. You know, a lot of these old first person shooters, you know, a lot of these parents, they wouldn't let their kids play them. You know, they'd say like, oh, like they're mature games, like they have blood,
right?
You know, they have gore, they have actual guns, like you actually kill people. Where in Fortnite, it's like you get eliminated. You know, it's not like you're actually, you know, killing somebody. It's like you're eliminating them. Like they teleport out of the map. So like,
it's not like you're going to an airport and like shooting up everyone. Like
like a No Russian and MW2, the most controversial mission ever. So like that's what I'm saying. It's like Fortnite catered to everybody. You know, like it's like SpongeBob. It's like kids can watch it and adults can watch it, and it's going to be a perfect, you know, a perfect platform for everybody. So Apex, like that's the thing. I think no game. It's going to be really hard to pass up Fortnite just because they need to hit every single audience, you know, like there's 8-year-olds playing Fortnite, you know, it's like you don't see 8-year-olds out there playing, you know, like the horror games or doing all like it's stuff that caters to everybody. So that's where Fortnite got it right. And I think Epic or not Epic, Apex had potential, but you're never ever going to get with like a first person shooter. You're never going to get like an audience like, you know, like a Fortnite game, which is it's kid friendly, you know. So I don't know. It is frustrating though, because Apex was a good game, and I've always liked the first person shooters. I've always enjoyed those, because I think like the game industry is starving for like that next thing, you know. It's like Apex, it was a little different than like the older games that came out, like PUBG. I remember when PUBG came out, that was the game. Like everybody was like, yo, PUBG, first person shooter, hop on this. But PUBG had way too many bugs, way too many issues, you know. Like it seems Fortnite has kept up on a lot of these things, but nowadays I feel like with their recent patches and stuff, they're just losing more and more of their like Fortnite is not as fun as it used to be. And that's not good. So
with PUBG, I actually had those the player unknown skins, right? The closed beta skins. Dude, I resold those for I think like $1,500 all total. Steam,
really?
Like in the Steam wallet, unfortunately you can't transfer that to your actual bank account. But yeah, I got like $1,500 in my Steam wallet during the time of the Steam summer sale. So my Steam like game library went from it went up about 100%. Like I just went on a spending spree. I was buying games for my friends, and now like within the matter of a month, I didn't have any of that money anymore.
No, I mean, I've never really, like I said, Steam. I only play a couple games on there. Like I have PUBG, I have Rocket League, I have stuff like that. But I never really got into. I know back in the day, like, you know, I never really was a CS:GO guy, but I know back in the day, like CS:GO skins and stuff like that, went nuts for that shit, like with knives and all that. And it's like I never, because at that point I was still on console. Like there's no, I didn't switch to PC until April, I think 2017. So I've had PC now for about 2 years.
I was just about to ask that too.
Yeah.
Don't mind me, you know, my girlfriend made homemade jambalaya, and it's actually really tasty.
I was wondering what that was. I was gonna say it looks like cheese.
I couldn't pass it up, man.
Dude, you're hammering that right
Cajun
now,
rice, the cornbread, the andouille, and the chicken, and it's a shrimp.
Yo.
Hello, shrimp.
Yo, you got to make sure Squirtle back there, you know, get some food too.
That's right. Wait, Squirrel, here. Here you go, buddy. Take it.
Oh,
take it. Just like that. Oh yeah. Eat it. Oh no, I stained him. No, I mean he's just he's a little bit of a messy eater.
Are you a big Pokemon guy?
Not so much anymore. I used to be, like growing up. Like it was the thing, you know. I'd come home from kindergarten, first grade. It's like 1999, 2000, 2001. First thing like I would do, come home 4 o'clock, run to Cartoon Network because a new episode of Pokemon, like the first gen. You know, this is back there in the days of Brock and Ash and everyone. So like I would run, watch it live. Squirtle was always my favorite. So the reason why I got a Squirtle here, so I had a Squirtle plush that I got at Kmart, like when I was like 6 years old, right? And that dude was like my best friend. Like I had birthday parties for him. I was a socially awkward kid, right? And like Squirtle was almost the way that I could like communicate and talk and just like have a good time. because I had no friends. So
Hey,
right. Well, I had Squirtle. The problem was, so I had Squirtle for like 2 or 3 years, right? I transitioned out of him, but I still had him. I kept him in my room, like, symbolism and significance and everything. It was like he's a piece of me, so I kept him in my room. Well, so this was about the time going into 6th grade or so. My mom got like super big into the Pentecostal church, and if you don't know what Pentecostals are, they're the ones who like believe in fire and damnation, and they're like, they hold up the snakes and they speak in tongues like sha na 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 na, and like they say like if you don't get the Holy Spirit, then you're going to hell and everything. Well, I guess like a pastor had told her that there are demons living like within Pokemon, like Pokemon. This is created by a guy who, like, this brilliant genius who had autism, right? And he just like saw animals and insects and made this wonderful world out of it. But yet he said that like they're the demons. Like, okay, well, dude, I had no idea.
So, dude, I kid you not, I went through the same thing back in the day, but not with Pokemon, but with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh. See, I was a Pokemon guy.
Yeah, see, I had the dual disc. I had like all the Exodia parts. Like I'd go to the soup kitchens with like all the homeless people, and like they'd always try to steal my Yu-Gi-Oh cards and shit. And like, bro, my parents at one point, I think I was in the 3rd grade, banned me. Like they took all my Yu-Gi-Oh cards and just hid them from me because they thought, yo, like those are demonic, or like look at those creatures, like you're playing with like the devil and like all that stuff. Dude, I had the exact same growing up, but with Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I was
yours are only like put away, because I come home from school one day, right, and I'm like, Mom, where's Squirtle? I guess because this pastor had said that like there's a demon within Squirtle. She didn't just throw him away, dude. She took a knife to him and cut him up piece by piece to make sure that there would be like no demon or whatever. And she like said this whole thing like there's definitely a demon in him because he smirked. I'm like, Mom, that's just how he looks. He smirks. He kind of has an evil look to him. But she said like he smirked at her and everything, and I was like, oh, Mom. So like, she chopped him up limb by limb, piece by piece, pulled the stuffing out, and then like threw away my Pokemon cards. These are 1st-gen cards. Imagine if only she knew how much money they're worth now.
Oh, I bet. Honestly, I mean, Squirtle should have just hit her with that Hydro Blast, dude.
Right.
It would have been fine. But no, I the same thing happened to me, man. Like I remember, I remember every time I would go to the supermarket and I'd go to the Yu-Gi-Oh section. Like this is before my parents took them away. Like I would literally just stare there for hours, look at all the different packs. I remember there was even one time where one of the packs, like Chad, don't clip this, but there's one time one of the packs had like a little opening in it, and as a little kid, I was like trying to like slowly like creep in and like see what cards were in the pack or whatever. And I remember this random lady standing like 15 meters away from me was like, "Hey, are you stealing? What are you doing?" And I literally just freaked out, dropped the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like threw them, and then after that, just I couldn't go back to that station just because I at that one grocery store, because I thought, dude, I'm gonna go back there, I'm gonna look at the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and then that lady's gonna be waiting for me, So definitely those were the times though, man. The Yu-Gi-Oh, the Pokemon. Those were the great things about, and like nowadays I don't even know what the kids mess with, like what Bakugan, Beyblades, like
isn't Digimon still a thing? I don't know. No, Beyblade. That's like somehow that's survived the times, and like that's still a show on Disney XD, I'm pretty sure, and like kids are still in the Beyblade, which is pretty cool. So there's a little poetic ending to it. My mom felt bad, and a couple of years ago for Christmas, the last gift I got was a Squirtle. I mean, he's not the same. He's not worn into, he's not a piece of me, but she tried to make it up. Now, and speaking of like peeking in the cards, my girlfriend and I went to a flea market like a year ago, and this guy had this giant book of Pokemon cards, like across all generations, and found this, and because he was charging per card and he knew the worth of the cards, he wouldn't let me just buy the book. I was trying to like, I thought maybe he was just a dumb like garage salesman.
Oh, you already know.
Where like he just gets a book and like, oh, I'll buy that for like $5 from you. Well, no, he knew what was up. So we kind of found this and made out with it. Now it's in bad condition, but it's a 1st generation Mew card. And it's not just a Mew card, it's their promo card. And stupid light. Hold on, wait. Oh no. Whoa, wait. Oh my god. What?
Oh, that's a
I don't know.
Try to like
I guess I'll just show from here.
Yeah, from there. So
I mean, it's kind of in rough shape, but it's a first generation Mew promo card. I guess I don't really know. No, I don't know. New species Pokemon. Look, he's brand new. He's brand new. New species Pokemon. Length 1 foot 4 inches. Weight 9 pounds. Did you even realize Mew was so small? I mean,
dude, I feel like for me, the one card I had that I think I still have somewhere in my house is it was like that. I think it wasn't Mew, or it was either Mew or Mewtwo, but it was like a fully gold card, and it had like the whatever. I think it was like I don't know if it was Japanese, but it had no English on it. Like it was a fully gold either Mewtwo or Mew card, and I remember everybody used to rave about those. And I remember I found it at like some random garage sale, and I think I still have it. I don't know if you have any knowledge about that or have any idea, but dude,
I don't know, man.
I mean, sexy card, dude. It's
I'd have to imagine. Right, I'd have to imagine the gold cards are probably worth something.
That's what I'm saying. So I have no idea. I just know I probably still have it. It's just probably just I can mail it to you, dude.
I'm about to break the fourth wall here, dude. That would be awesome. I'm trying to recollect, not to like resell.
Yeah.
Not to resell. I'm just trying to like recollect because like I have a dream. Like when we move in July, I'm gonna like put up the best setup behind me that I can, and I want to like just have like in frames. Like vintage, not vintage. Oh, I guess 20 years old now, but like first generation Pokemon cards and collections and everything. But
definitely, man, that would be awesome. I don't know about me and the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I think we've slowly parted ways, but I always keep a Blue Eyes White Dragon on me, strapped to my wallet just in case I need to whip it out sometime.
That's right. Some kid may come up across you in the street and challenge you.
Exactly. That's what I gotta say, Or like the police officer pulls me over at like a traffic stop and he's like, "Can I see your driver's license?" And I actually, well, my bad. Like, here's my license. Blah blah.
Right.
I think that could be. You never know, man. You never know what could come up upon you. So
ever in a situation where like maybe there's an armed robbery happening, like you're at CVS, and you're waiting forever for that receipt to finish printing because it takes forever, and this armed robber comes in. And like he has a gun out. What's the best kind of defense you could have? Well, yeah, pull out that Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Well, that's what you say. I summon Blue Eyes White Dragon, baby.
Yeah.
Boom. That's what I'm saying, bro. Or Dark Magician with a spellbound circle. That guy ain't going nowhere, bro.
Right.
That man is fucking upside down. Like, let's get it.
Something I wanted to talk about. And this is because I'm like re-uploading these podcasts to my YouTube, which my YouTube has pretty decent traction too. So like maybe people will see this, will want to be like, hey, I want to catch this live, go follow us and everything. In my community, admittedly, I have a younger crowd that watches me, and that's fine. I try to cater to that. I'm not specifically family friendly, and I warn people that I'll cuss some things, but and I'll say dirty stuff, whatever, But these are kids who know full well what they're watching, but they're kids. Some of them are athletes. I guess like you stream a lot, and I know like you're Pacific time, so late for me. It's not as late for you, but you stream a lot and you play games a lot. How do you balance? So maybe it's a kid going into college, maybe it's a kid in college, maybe it's a kid like in high school or junior high. How do you balance gaming, especially and you're trying to get to the professional level, like in Fortnite? How do you balance that with sports and with school?
So for me, I'll just give you the lowdown from. We'll start back in when I was, I don't know. We'll say high school. Right. We'll start at high school. So for me, high school, I was a 3-sport athlete. I played football, basketball, and soccer. Basically, the only time I ever had, availability or I was able to game was the weekends. That was the only time. Unless, like, let's say I had a soccer game on Saturday, I would come home from my soccer game, take a nice warm shower, and then from there, bro, I would just start gaming. So like for me, weekends was something that was the only time I could do it, because during the weekdays, I really wasn't even like allowed. Like my parents wouldn't let me game because they knew like if they let me have full potential to where I could just like sit and play, like I would be playing all night. So they knew that like it wasn't healthy for me, especially in high school. And I kind of knew that too. I kind of understood that I had some stuff I had to worry about, grades, academics, other stuff, hanging out with friends, doing social stuff. So like for me, high school weekends, that was the only time. So I couldn't really game that much. And like my friends knew that, like I said, like even back in the middle school days, like when MW2 came out and stuff, I could only play for like 2 hours, where my friends would be up they'd be pulling all-nighters playing S&D, just straight trash talk. So for me, high school weekends was kind of the only time. But then college, so for me, like, I don't know if anybody, a lot of people from my chat know, but for anybody in Chase's chat, so I play college football. I'm a senior right now, academically, but I have 1 year left of eligibility. So we got some big things coming. I haven't been able to officially announce where I'm headed next year for football, but I'll just say.
So you are transferring.
I am transferring. I'm going to be. Okay. So right now I'm playing I played 3 years at a D3 college. So I played D3 football for 3 years. I did really well. I got a really good career. I'm
the king kicker of Linfield.
That's what I'm saying.
University right here. 60-yard field goal, yeah? Or you can kick it 60 yards.
Oh, easy money, baby. Yo, make sure you guys check out my Instagram if you want to see some big kicks, all right? But
it's a sick vid. I vouch for that. It's a sick vid.
Definitely. So 2018 season, I got first team AP All-American. I got multiple All-American. I got like FACA All-American first team for place kicker like throughout all of D3. So I had a really good season in D3, or like seasons, I should say, in D3. So what I'm going to try to do, I have a year left of eligibility. I'm going to be trying. Well, basically, I am going to be playing in the Pac-12, but I can't say what.
Oh, the Pac-12, huh?
I can't.
Did this particular school, did it play Ohio State in the Rose Bowl?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
That's unfortunate.
But all I can say is it is a Pac-12 school, but I can't officially, because I'm going to be a graduate transfer. I don't know if you know who Gardner Minshew is, but Gardner Minshew or whatever. So I'm basically pulling a Gardner Minshew where, I can go right in. I don't have to worry about not being able to play or having to sit out for a season, because usually when you transfer up, like normally if you're an undergraduate student, you have to sit out. So I don't have to do that being a graduate transfer. So yeah, everybody, stay tuned. I can't officially announce, but basically, let's just rewind. So back to, college football when I first started. So for me being a place kicker, I have a lot more free time than a lot of other people who play. So if I was a normal skill position guy, they're always in meetings. Like they're 24/7 in meetings, always learning new plays, new formations. But like for me being a kicker, I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. I probably wouldn't even play football if I didn't kick. Like we'd be the kind of guys that we'd be going in the locker rooms, middle of practice, like taking out the GameCube and gaming on the flat screen in the locker room. Like
surely you've seen Blue Mountain State, yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly.
What I think of the place kickers and like special teams in general, I just think like, dude, you don't have to do all that stuff. You're on special teams as they're smoking a joint on the sideline and everything. That's a great show.
It's one of the positions where like the stereotype definitely is true, where it's not for every kicker, I should say, but for most of them, kickers they're usually like the oddballs on the team. Like I'm somebody played soccer my whole life, always like for me, normal football guys,
football teams like, what's this grass fairy doing on our team?
Yeah,
Come on,
they
man.
always say grass fairy. That's what they called me. So like, but I didn't care. I was kicking for me. Like I still got along with the other football players. Like they respected me and stuff. So I didn't really have any issues with that. But I know a lot of other kickers, they're kind of outcasts on their team. It's like, who's that random ass, soccer guy like playing football?
Is it really that big of an issue on some teams?
I mean, it depends. The team that I went to, I never played, but I went to school in New York for a year. Or not a year, for a semester. And I went through fall camp at a school called Hobart. And there it was definitely like that. Like you could tell like the kickers were treated a lot differently than like the normal football players. And I didn't really necessarily like that. It's like, we're part of the team. We shouldn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. So then again, rewinding, being a kicker, a lot more free time. So I thought, I've always loved gaming. My whole life, first ever game I ever owned and played was, I got a GameCube. I played Need for Speed Underground. so much. I loved cars when I was little. Also 007 Nightfire. Like I played like James Bond Nightfire on GameCube. You know that, like I went hard back in the day on on the Cube.
You didn't have a 64 and play Goldfinger?
No, I didn't. Man. I didn't have any of that. I didn't. I wasn't. The GameCube was the first ever console I got. So, but from there, I always, I enjoyed gaming. Like I enjoyed. It just felt like for me, someone who, life is fun. Like you meet people and stuff, but like there's just something about games where I felt, it's almost like it kind of takes you into that world, where
it's better than movies and TV in that sense.
Yeah, it's almost like a movie, but you feel like you're immersed in, because you're controlling the character. It depends on the game, but for me, like that always kind of got like my brain like kind of ticking, like, oh, I'm in a different world right now. Like I'm doing something that's like unearthly. So like for me, that really kind of got my attention. So fast forwarding, in college, I said, I loved gaming. I've always kind of wanted to have a YouTube, wanted to have a stream. So I said, I'm just going to do it. I got enough money to buy like, my first PC. I started going ham, trying to improve my stream as much as I can. And like, for me, time, it's hard, like, especially for you, like being in college and balancing academics, sports and work. 'Cause it's stressful. Like, being a streamer, everybody who says like it's an easy job, like it's definitely something that requires a lot of time and energy. Like streaming is not something where you can just sit back and just kind of, you can sit back and relax, but to have like energy on a stream or to like really kind of like grapple people in, it's like, it's definitely tiring. Like being a streamer, talking to a lot of people, your mouth gets dry, after a while, it's stuff kind of gets chaotic. So to find that time and to do it, it's definitely tough. Like you have to kind of find your priorities. And like for me, I really wanted to see where I could go with it. Like my buddy, who is our quarterback for our team, he has a YouTube channel. His name is Adventure Athlete. I think he just hit 60K on YouTube.
Wow.
But he's been one of my best friends. We kind of like clicked, we met each other here. We kind of had the same outlook in terms of like, we wanted to make content. We wanted to do something different. We felt like we had the personalities to do it. We've always enjoyed it. So
what kind of content does he do?
So he does like football videos. So he'll do like what's like a D3 game day like, or like what's a D3 locker room like. And he's been partnering with like a lot of other content creators at like the D1 level. Like he's been partnering with this guy called Kirko who plays for Texas. They've been making videos together and they've been doing pretty successful. Like they've been getting hundreds of thousands of views, in these collabs. So like me and him we just kind of gelled, like we're the only ones on my football team that kind of had the same outlook in these kind of things. So we kind of like I don't know, we kind of what's the word for it, dude, I'm like literally having a brain fart right now, dude. Do you ever get like to that point where like the perfect word but you're too stubborn to like throw in just like some average
all the
word,
time, man, like, all the time. Like problem is I'm just not smart, so I don't know the right word to put in sometimes.
Exactly. Like I gotta read more books, dude. The only book I've ever read in my life is Goosebumps, Egg Monster from Mars, dude. Other than never touched the book, bro.
You know the exact one.
That's what I'm saying. I remember, bro. I was so proud when I read it. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
what was that, senior year of high school?
No, it's probably like, I don't know, 5th grade or something.
Okay, yeah, sure.
No, gotta check it out.
Your senior year book report.
No, that's what I'm saying. So like, for us, we kind of just built off each other. We kind of made each other passionate. We kind of saw each other's ideas and each other's success, and we're like, you know what, like we're gonna stick with this. Like we kind of motivated each other. So for me, like there's a lot of times where I probably shouldn't be streaming, and I shouldn't be like gaming, but like there's something about it where I just am so, it's once you hit that point where it's like, bro, like this is really fun, and like you see success happen, it's like it's really addicting because like you want to keep doing it, but you got to balance it, you can't just go full tilt and boogie because you got a lot of other stuff on your plate, and that's why I think college for me, it's been kind of hard, just because there's so much stuff I want to do, and I feel like this, like school kind of limits me from that. But at the same time, my parents would never forgive me if I dropped out of college or I didn't get a college degree.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
after
exactly.
all this money.
I don't want to say it's exactly addiction because I don't want to be part of that, like that argument that gaming and everything's an addiction. But what I will say is, I don't know, it gives you almost like a sense of validation, and that's what's and that validation almost becomes like the addiction.
Mm.
Like, I'm not good at video games. I've never have been, and it's gotten even worse for me because I have this issue called central nervous tremors, where I can't control how bad my hands shake. Sometimes it's worse than others, and that really affects my gaming, like, pretty freaking often. But you know, I still like the content side of it. That's why I do a lot of just chatting, or like during games, like I'll just chat with chat and not really worry so much about the gameplay. But there's that sense of validation where even if it's only 5 people watching you, it's 5 people who are watching you and are engaged, talking to you. For a brief second, you almost feel like you're making a difference in someone's life, because I mean, one of the best feelings is when you know, I get a DM from someone, and like in my Twitter, and they're like, or even like a Twitch whisper, and they're like, hey, I really needed this today, you know? I'm not a big streamer, I'm not a big content creator, but there's one person who's like, man, I was going through some stuff today. I don't want to talk about it with anyone, but man, there's just something about like watching your streams and being part of your community, being part of your chat. Like, it honestly, like, this has made my day, it's made my week. And that sense of validation that you're making an impact in someone's life, for me, that's the addiction right there. Like, I want to go live stream the next night because you know, I want to make sure these people are having, you know, I want to, you know, I want to make sure they're having a good day again, because I get worried sometimes. Dude, I've gotten like messages from viewers talking about, like, you know, they're thinking about suicide, and that's heavy. That is so heavy. But they message me, of all people. And like the last thing they always sign off with is like, hey, are you going live tonight? I could release it. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, like, I'll go live for you, you know?
No,
just make sure you're there.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think like you said, the whole validation thing is what is, like you said, it's so addicting, because for me, if I there's no way I could just sit and play a game, you know, for hours a day, and then like after a while, like, continue to enjoy that. Like, I feel like if I didn't have a community, or like people that I have like relationships with in like my chat and stuff, I feel like they bring that sort of like sense of validation to say like, oh, like, these people like your presence, and you're bringing some sort of joy or entertainment or value to their lives. And I feel like that, like you said, that's where like the whole addiction comes from, is like, you know, that you're making a difference, you know, that, you know, you're impacting these other people's lives. Because like you said, there's a lot of people out there in the world that are, you know, they're struggling. There's a lot of people going through stuff that we'll probably never know about, but from whatever you can give them to help you know, boost their mood or give them some sort of hope, like that is, like you said, it's super deep, and it's just a great feeling at the end of the day.
You almost feel like you have a purpose, you know, like you found your purpose. Your purpose is to entertain and to just spread this positivity and spread this energy, you know, and share it with people. And yeah, it's such a great feeling. I love streaming. You know, I got into YouTube in 2014. I've been doing this stuff for a while, very on and off. I had a terrible time figuring out how to balance fraternity life and school life with streaming and content creation. So I know there are times when I missed opportunities, like back in 2014 and 2015 specifically. If I had been uploading more consistently or streaming more consistently, I'd probably be in a better position than I am now. But that's fine, you know. It's not like I'm gonna give up.
You gotta
there's gonna be more opportunities in the future too, you know. There's just gotta capitalize on it.
And that's what I feel like for a lot of people, being a small streamer on Twitch, growth is hard, as like we have other stuff going on. It's not like we're full-time streaming, we're full-time dedicated, like, and I feel like I get this a lot, you know, from people in my community. They're like, why aren't you live? Or like, why do you never stream? Or like, why don't you act like you know, you care about streaming? And it's like, you know, being a kid in college and trying to balance, like you said, a bunch of different things going on in life, like, it's hard to commit and be, you know, in our sense, like a full-time streamer. And you know, and I think like over time, you know, like, you know, the more and more, you know, the more and more that you get like from your community, and the more and more success that arises, it's like, okay, then you can start maybe transitioning into like a full-time streamer. But it's hard to even get to that point where you can say, this is something I'm going to do full-time. Like, this is something that is going to be my career, because, you know, being somebody who, you know, is small on Twitch and doesn't really have a very big income, it's hard to like sustain yourself off that. You know what I mean? It's not like my daddy's, you know, Bill Gates or something where he can just be like, oh, here, I'll get you an apartment, I'll get you food, all I have to do is stream, you know, blah, 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 and then you can pay for the rest. It's not like that, you know. It's and people don't understand that. You know, they think like, oh, you know, like you can you like you're good, like you can full-time stream, like what do you mean, like blah, blah, blah. And it's like there comes a point where it's like these are decisions that you got to make. You know, it's like if you're going to commit to this, like you got to commit, because if you pull out, then you're going to be stuck looking for another job. You're going to be stuck, you know, wondering about how you're going to get work. It's like streaming full time, it's stressful, you know, like it's something that
I feel like the people who try pushing that on you are usually the kids who don't, you know, they're kids, they're in school, they're still living under their mom and dad's house, they don't have to pay bills. I don't think they quite realize the extent of, you know, bills, living an adult life, not just bills, but like food, just everyday living. You know, you need to get that money somehow, and until you're making like 3,000 a month on Twitch, Twitch is not full-time, and
it's not
like,
full-time. You gotta do something, but that's something like if you really care about it that much, you're gonna do whatever you can to make sure that, you know, you get to the point where it can sustain, you know, and that might
you gotta work for it. It's a grind.
Exactly, it's a grind. And that's what I feel like the only way, you know, Twitch is going to be satisfying, or you're going to feel like you've done something, is like grinding for it. Not like somebody just hands you a big host with like a bunch of viewers or something where, you know, you've hit those numbers where they're not like, there's just something about starting from nothing and growing a community and growing like, you know, just something to where you're able to sustain yourself from that. Like, I think that is the most satisfying thing, that, and like you said, along the way, making an impact in other people's lives. I think that, and like, that's what I hate about streaming and about the whole video game thing, is there's a lot of people out there that think like, oh, like you're just like a blob, or oh, like you're a nerd, or you're a loser for streaming, or like for gaming, you know. Like, I've had a lot of people say like, why do you just want to sit and like game all day? Like don't you want to do something better with your life? And like, that's the thing, like they're so ignorant, like they don't understand, like we talked about earlier, how the addiction of like making an impact in other people's lives, or getting that relationship with your community. It's like, at the end of the day, streaming, like for me, I do it because of like my community and stuff, like the gaming and stuff. That's just something that like I do because I still enjoy it. But at the end of the day, what's driving me is like the impact that I'm making, like on the platform. So it blows my mind when people are just like, yo, you know, why are you just sitting in front of a screen playing a game? You know, like, do something greater with your life. It's like, dude, listen, it's you are so like ignorant, like you have no idea what you're talking about, you know. So
like my Twitch channel info, my info panel, it's literally like, yes, I have a girlfriend, you know, I'm not a virgin. Yes, yes, I work full time. I'm a construction project manager. I work from 7 to 4. I'm beat. It is so hard working those hours because I have to wake up by like 5 in the morning. That's like the time I used to go to bed. 5 in the morning. It's I'm exhausted. But yes, I work full time. Yes, I went to school. Yes, I'm doing something with my life. No, I'm not just some like loser, because trolls are always gonna do it. And even like, as annoying as it is, not even trolls will be like, oh well, you're not doing anything with your life, you're just playing video games. You hear it from your family.
Like, definitely. I think my parents, they don't understand. And I don't know if it's the same with your parents. Like my parents, they hate the fact that I stream and like that I'm passionate about streaming.
My mom is pretty supportive. My dad doesn't get it.
No, my dad doesn't get it. I agree. I think it's my dad who says you need to get a real job. You need to get like a real, and that's the thing. It's like I can't blame them. You know, it's their generation. They're not used to this kind of stuff.
And they also want what's best for you. You know, they're worried about you. They want to make sure you're gonna have a good job, good financial stability, and everything. Because
and I think the whole notion, like, if we can show people, like, especially for me, like, I can say, hey, like, I'm not just some, you know, loser with acne who just like sits and like, and I feel like my parents, that's what they kind of envision, like when it comes to like people who do this. And I'm like, listen, like I went to college, like I played college football, like I'm an athlete, like it's not like I'm just some kid who's just in his mom's basement playing video games, you know, with like an audience. It's like I'm somebody who I feel like has done something, you know, outside of gaming with their lives. So it's like I think if you can bridge that gap and show people that, like, yo, listen, streaming is not just for, it's for everybody. Like anybody can stream, anybody can do this kind of stuff. You know, it's not just And like that's what I'm saying, like people just have such a negative connotation when it comes to like streaming and live streaming and like playing video games and stuff. It's like I just wish that there could be a better way where people can understand and see the perspective that it's like, you know, we're doing this because, you know, like we said, the addiction of just making an impact on other people's lives, and then just keep wanting to chase that and to make it even, you know, grow to more people, you know, like that is so satisfying. So
yeah, I agree. It's it doesn't help. And you know, being in a fraternity, one thing that we got so used to was the always uphill battle against the media. You know, the media picturing, because like in the entertainment industry, the frat guy is the guy who, I mean, it doesn't help that I'm wearing a Hawaiian and drinking a beer right now while I'm trying to relax and vibe and chat. But like the media always paints us, you know, you watch like Neighbors and Animal House and everything. Like that's how people are going to imagine, you know, frats and frat stars. Well, that's kind of the same uphill battle that we as gamers are facing too, because like, I mean, when you search like a GIF, and yes, I say GIF, I'm team GIF, not GIF, confirmed by the creator, it's GIF.
I never say GIF either. I'm
it's GIF. When you search up on like Twitter a GIF and you just put in like gamer, the very first GIF that pops up is that South Park with the like big fat guy, like the Jabba the Gut guy, you know, with no hair.
Is it the one where Cartman's playing World of Warcraft? His mom's like getting him the tray, and he just takes his shit on it. He's like, "Mom," he just fucking puts the tray and just like explodes on it.
But like that's the first GIF you see, and if you go down that line of GIFs, like it's just all that same stereotype, and that's because of like media and the way entertainment's painted that, and like even when like the mainstream media posts a picture of like gaming news, it's always like the most stereotypical gamer you could think about seeing. But what people don't realize is like, so in the eSports industry, right, like there's some straight athletes in that. I mean, look at FaZe Clan, they have Juju Smith-Schuster in it. Luminosity has got Trevor May, and he's Trevor May's probably my favorite all around,
I mean,
like
even
streamer right now.
Somebody else who just started streaming, Myers Leonard, who plays on the Blazers, like he's streaming now, you know, like, you know, I think that the more and more people are able to realize that like gaming is something, or streaming is something that like anybody can do, and that you don't just have to be, and like I said, get rid of that negative connotation of just like the Cartman sitting in his mom's basement shitting on like an oven tray. You know what I mean? It's like, I think that is going to make it to where a lot, and I've noticed that change on my football team. Like I've gotten a lot of kids on my football team to like start streaming and like, you know, to stream, like, you know, because they enjoy gaming. And I feel like the more and more we can do that, you know, the more and more people can see like, hey, you know, you don't just have to be some weirdo who sits in your basement, you know, in your mom's basement who plays games all day. It's like, this is something that like athletes can do, something that like, you know, and I think if I could see Twitch or any of these other live streaming platforms kind of go in that direction, I think that it's just going to open the door to a lot more people wanting to become interested, you know, and wanting to become a part of like some of these communities and stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm hopeful for it.
Now, here's the thing with so many people, because like one of the beauties of Twitch, right? Anyone can stream on it. So like if you're playing a video game and you got somewhat of a personality, why not? You know, why not just like get OBS? You don't have to do anything too elaborate. That's one of the issues. People think that when they first start a stream, they gotta go like full production and everything. You don't have to. You know, be engaging with your chat, be engaging with your community, establish a community. You know, just stream and people will come. People will come, they'll be involved. But here's an issue. And it's a topic that's been brought up, like Dextera, I think that like Call of Duty magazine, they wrote an article about it, and I want to get your opinion on it. Do you think that there's an issue right now growing as a small streamer because there's so many small streamers? You know, it's like prime time. Instead, like people aren't watching streams anymore. Now they want to be streamers. So do you think that makes it more difficult as a small streamer to grow because your small streamer crowd are all streaming like at the same time?
I definitely agree. I think as a small streamer, just in general, if you're on a large platform, it's hard to grow. I think if Twitch could do something in the future to make it to where more small streamers are able to get like some sort of exploration or something like that, that would be huge, because like
Yeah.
I said, the whole D Live thing, it's something new, something where they're looking for these new, because like there's a lot
tell
of
us
people
about
who
D Live,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
like I know PewDiePie's been, he's been promoting it. In fact, like over the weekend, he went around, I think all
gave
total
people
like
money.
$30,000 donated
yeah,
to different streamers on it. What
which
is D Live?
crazy. So D Live, it's like a totally new platform. From what I know about it, it's something where the streamer gets 100% of like the cut. Like the platform doesn't
Really?
take anything from the streamer. So
How do they do that? I guess do they just make
honestly,
people watch ads and they just take those profits, or
I have no idea, but
that's wild.
from what I've seen and what I've heard and what I've been a part of so far since I've streamed on there. That's really how it is. You know, like the currency is called Lino. Like I know on Twitch it's called bits.
It's called Lino.
Lino on there.
Yeah, gotta
Lino,
get that
Lino.
lean, man.
That's what I'm saying, that Lino. So I don't know. I feel like, you know, being somebody on Twitch where there's so many, the pyramid, like, you know, you click on a certain game, it's like there's always that one streamer where no matter what, like they're always gonna have viewers, they're always gonna have traffic. That's just how it is, you know. Like
you click on a game, you know who you're gonna see by now. They're always at the top.
And a lot of the times, a lot of these people who are up at the top, they've just been doing it for so long that people are familiar with them, you know. So like, for us, there's a lot of people that have a lot of talent and like a lot of you know, just a lot of attributes to where they could be a top streamer, but they're never gonna get like that because they just don't have the exposure, you know. And that's what, like, I think nowadays on these platforms, like people are looking for something new, like something unique. Like what can you do as a streamer that's different? Like why is your stream important? Like why would somebody want you to come to, why would they want to take time out of their day to come watch your stream? You know, like what makes you so special? So if you can find something as a small streamer that can grapple people like that, give them something new, give them something unique, something fresh, you know, something innovative. I think that
just give
is
them
what
content.
really,
People want content, you know, they're tired of seeing the same old.
Like I feel like a lot of the small streamers, they just do the same thing as like other streamers, you know, like they try to mimic these top streamers, but it's like, why would we want to go watch your stream when I could just watch the top streamer if it's just the same thing, you know? It's like, for me, usually when I look to watch people on like these platforms, I look for something different, you know, something where it's like, oh, this person's doing something, you know, new, this person's doing something different. And it's like, I feel like that's kind of the key is trying to like put yourself out, you know, out of the box and trying to make people see something to where they're like, oh, you know, like this is not what I normally see on Twitch when I go, you know, when I go on these platforms. And I think D Live was something where I thought, you know, I've only streamed on there one time, but you know, there's a lot of people that left Twitch who come into my chats on D Live and be like, I personally think D Live is way better than Twitch, just because I feel like Twitch is just it's like just this platform where it's so hard to grow and there's no point. Like it's already, you just like a lot of these people just give up. So they come over to D Live thinking that like there's a bunch of other people here with similar mindsets that are looking for new stuff. So I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna keep experimenting with D Live. I'm gonna see where it takes me. I'm not gonna give up on Twitch. I'm gonna try to maybe do like D Live here and there, but I'm gonna try to main Twitch right now, but kind of just experiment and see like you know, and then maybe do some like cross platform like contaminate. I hate that,
like a restream or something.
Or cross platform contamination, where I try to take like my D Live community and merge it with like my Twitch community, you know.
So, I mean, why not, you know? And that way, if D Live goes under, a lot of those people will probably go back to watching Twitch. So then it almost becomes like an easy way to grow a Twitch community. I like that term, cross contaminate.
I hate that. It's my body.
I had that issue all the time with YouTube, man, because I have a YouTube crowd, I have a Twitch crowd, and it's hard to get them from. It's so hard. I actually used to average on a more consistent basis more viewers when I did YouTube gaming, and that was before I really got into Twitch. I just knew like the opportunities are better on Twitch, you know. You can get away with listening to the music you want, Whereas on YouTube, like heaven forbid,
Yeah.
you know, I got sick and tired of listening to the same no copyright sounds playlist
Oh, I hate
over
that. I hate
and
that.
over,
You
dude.
too.
It was
You go to
ridiculous.
streams and you know,
Yeah.
like, oh, they got the same playlist.
Yeah, everyone's got that playlist going to on YouTube Gaming. It's the same music, and it's funny because like viewers who are on YouTube Gaming who prefer that over Twitch, they'll come in like, oh, blah 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 by blah blah blah. I love this song. Like, dude, I've never even heard of this song before. But obviously you're a regular to the YouTube gaming world. But yeah, I tried so many campaigns, man. I did giveaways,
Yeah.
I did contests, I did shoutouts. I could not get them to Twitch. I just only a few of them have like come, and only a very few of those are, you know, active in my Twitch chat. It's tough,
I don't know.
man.
I feel like for me, a lot of these platforms, like the one thing that I can't stand about Twitch, but I love about YouTube, like I never ever stream live on YouTube, but there's just something about YouTube where you can just take your shirt off and you can just game just shirtless, bro. Like that there's some times where I'm gaming so hard that I'm so sweaty and I'm so hot and I just want to take my shirt off so bad.
Bro, I'm already halfway there.
That's what I'm saying. But like on Twitch, you can't do that, you know. But I see streamers all the time on like YouTube just shirtless, just chilling, playing like, you know, Dota or something. And like, bro, that would be so fun right now just to sit. It's not even shirtless, just because like, let's say I'm like ripped or something, but just like to be shirtless and just, you know, you feel like you're actually sweating, you know, like just, dude, let me take my shirt off real quick. Like I got to go hard, you know, like I wish there wasn't certain restrictions like that on play, like, you know, on places like Twitch. And I just feel like in general, a lot of these platforms are becoming like the rules and the TOSs are just becoming super, super tight, you know, like one little slip up and you're done. Which I'm not really necessarily the biggest fan of, you know. I wish there could be a way on Twitch, like if you wanted to do those things, like you said, you had to put like a mature broadcasting like filter where they would have to like agree and be like, okay, I'm entering an environment where you can say whatever you want and it's not like, you know, against TOS. So I don't know. Because I know a lot of people have those issues where like, oh, I feel like these platforms are so like restricting, or like, you know, I don't know. I think that in the future, you know, they might change that or they might not, but knowing our society, it's probably just going to keep getting tighter and tighter. So
that's what she said.
Yo.
Yerp. But no, look at you with that healthy bottle and drinking that a fine Pilsner.
I wish I had the Pilsner, you know, but I got that agua, baby.
You gotta drink that agua. Dude, one of the best decisions I ever made in my life was cutting out pop. I mean, that's how I dropped like 60 pounds easily. I didn't change my diet. I just cut out pop. Or soda, sorry.
I haven't drank soda in like probably a year. I don't think I've touched. The only soda I'll ever touch though is root beer, bro. I don't know what it is, but root beer is just so good, dude.
That's like me with like if someone tempts me with a Code Red.
Oh, bro, Mountain Dew, man. I swear to God, they put crack in that shit. I remember back in high school, Mountain Dew voltages were $1 in the vending machine, dude. And every day,
yikes.
This was actually like, I felt like I was going to the vending machine and getting a voltage every day because it was so good. Like I couldn't go through class without sipping on my voltage, bro. You know? So like, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like that stuff, definitely, especially Mountain Dew, it's just so good, dude. You just can't stop drinking it. So I'm glad I cut it out.
No, I don't do crack. I just drink like 2 Mountain Dews today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I try to stay away from the dews and stuff like that. That's why only time I'll ever touch soda or something, you know, if I got a nice root beer, nice ice cold like root beer, like I got it, I'll dabble in it. You know, why not?
Yeah, Sprite can still be my weakness too. So
really?
Yeah, it's funny because like, so Sammy, she's like, when she thinks of Sprite, she associates it to like being sick.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know what, like, especially like, I know like anything from McDonald's is going to be better, like Coke's better, but a large Sprite from McDonald's is my weakness. I'll drink that sucker down, you know. I'll take like a sip out of it, bring it home, put some like Seagram 7 into it or something like that, and but like, dude, like it's addicting. In my opinion, the biggest like addictive probably across anything possible. In my opinion, the two biggest ones are pornography and sugars and caffeine mixed together. Like,
so
like,
pornography and caffeine are the two most addicting things in your life.
No, not my life. No, I mean like in general, like the two big.
I thought you were talking about your life.
No, not my life. I mean like in general. I think the two
you're
biggest.
Getting pretty open right now. That's what I was like. My man just going straight out there and saying, my life, pornography, and I got a girlfriend, but pornography and sugar that gets me, dude. That's what I was gonna say, and I was like, hey, man, I'm being honest, like I'll take it.
Yeah.
That's funny. No, I see what you mean. I know that when we got guys, taking 2 terabytes or I don't even think it was 2 terabytes, it was like 200 terabytes of porn getting downloaded when they thought the internet was getting shut down, like that's how like, bro, people are going hard when they're hitting 2,000 terabytes of just straight pornography. Like that's hilarious to me, that somebody actually cares that much. But that's funny, dude. No, that was a good little. I have a couple people in my chat right now saying clip.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, no, I just meant like overall. I think that because look at how big the porn industry is, and it's I don't know.
Well, like I don't know.
There's got to be a reason for that.
No, it's being somebody who we're human beings, we're primal, we see stuff that excites us, like and if it's available, then like our brains say like, why not do something that is going to bring us some sort of enjoyment, so I feel like in a lot of days too, I feel like people kind of struggle with relationships, and I feel like it's the fastest way for them to find some sort of like alternative, you know what I mean? So I don't know. And then the more and more internet's getting advanced, like the more and more people have access to this stuff. So at the end of the day, I feel like that's why it's such a big industry, is because like everybody can get their hands on it, like I remember back in the day, it's like you have to be 18 plus to view it, but I feel like nobody cares if some kid's watching it,
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't even verify. It just like has you check. Yes, I'm 18. Enter. Like, dude, when I was like 15 or 16, like, yeah,
that's
I'm 18. Enter. And
that's what I'm saying. So like, I feel for especially the younger generation, like there's not really that or like the guidance or sort of the parenting for these kids to be like, oh, like maybe I shouldn't be going on these websites, or oh, like, I can get in these websites, like I'm not 18, like who cares? So I don't know. I just feel like that's why it's always going to be something big. As a little kid, you're curious, you want to, you want to be like, ooh, I want to see my first ass, it's like, that's something that is like propelling.
It's
as, like,
natural, across guys and girls. It's natural. It's curiosity.
Well,
like you said, it's part of our primal instinct.
We're human. We're humans. We're animals. It's like, that's at the end of the day, that's what it's about. So, and it's something that, I don't know, if you restrict it so much to where people can't get it, like, I don't know what's going to happen, man. Like people are going to be, they're going to be going to bathroom stalls whenever they can, dude. Like, let's be honest.
I think that, since like Sammy and I started dating like 4 years ago, I don't watch it because one, I don't think it's necessarily the aspect of I don't think it's cheating to watch pornography. It's
no, I agree.
I guess I don't know, because like it's someone you'll never actually meet and blah blah blah, but my issue is it just like sets standards, that's just not even realistic to a sense, but like it just sets these standards, and I don't want that. I want the standard to be what me and my girlfriend said, not like what like a video showing us to set and what to do. So I think that it's unhealthy when in a relationship, just because it's like, man, how do you like match up to that? How do you recreate that? How can you do that? How can you do this? And you just can't.
I 100% agree, and I think that not only is like that an issue, but I feel like that can translate to even like just social media in general, like with Instagram and stuff. Like people think like, oh, these people are living such a crazy relationship, like, right. And then I look at my relationship and it's like, you feel kind of like shitty. You're like, oh, like, this person is doing all this great stuff, but you just feel like you're just like worthless, or you're just like, oh shit, like, I mean, maybe I can try to do this, but like you kind of feel insecure about it, and like I feel like you said, being in a relationship, you don't want to kind of expose yourself to watching porn or something, because like those guys they're like professionals, like
right.
The most interesting man in the world, best actor ever, going ham, like just not everybody like has that. So
going Dothraki on the Khaleesi,
to give yourself that perspective, not just in porn, but just like in general. Like that's why I feel like social media, I feel like it's just so toxic to a lot of relationships. And we've seen like divorce
social
rates
media,
super high.
it's sick, dude. I don't know. Social media is great for like marketing and advertising. It's a great way to like communicate and chat, but like, man, like social media is just dangerous to society as a whole, in my opinion.
I think it is. Like my parents aren't divorced, and they don't have any social media. Like they don't have Facebook, they don't have any, like, and I think that's why they're so happy, is because they're not exposing themselves to like other people to be like, oh, like look at how shitty our lives are compared to this person. Like it doesn't even occur to them. So
or just letting something happen, like something that could mess that up, like,
putting yourself in a situation where it could be kind of sticky, like that's what I'm saying. Like for me, if I'm ever in, like, this is just my opinion, like if I'm ever in a personal, serious relationship, like I'm not going to be, the only time, like I said, I would ever be using social media is for networking, like business stuff. Like let's say I did become successful on like Twitch or YouTube, like I would be using it just to let like my community know about certain things, like to see into my life. I would never use it just to like be putting only my life out there and to be like dabbling with stuff that could be dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's, to live the most healthy relationship, like that's what I think is key. Like you don't want to expose yourself and put yourself in situations where it could cause issues, like down the long run. So I think that's definitely a crucial point, that a lot of people don't even think about when it comes to social media.
I just have so many mixed feelings about social media. It's so cool. On the one end that you can like you can tweet at, like freaking Tom Hanks one time responded to me. I was like, hey, I heard, this was like 4 or 5 years ago on Twitter, right? It was on my personal Twitter account. I wasn't even a content creator yet. I was like, I just found out about Tom Hanks being related to Abraham Lincoln, I guess. So I was like, oh, hey, Tom Hanks, I heard that your bloodline's connected to Abraham Lincoln. Is that true? And he like actually responded. He was like, yeah, it is, and blah, blah, blah. Like, to me, that's so cool. Tom Hanks is like my favorite actor, man. And it's so cool how you can connect with athletes, with like Tim the Tatman and people, and just, but at the same time, there's just, with every good thing, there's a bad thing too.
And I think it's everything in moderation, like you said, social media does open good doors, but at the same time, like you got to be really careful with what doors you're going through on it. You know what I mean? It's like, and I think especially like in terms of like a relationship, social media, I think is never healthy. I don't think it's ever, there's never something that you can do on social media in terms of like your relationship to where like people are going to be able to interact with that. They're going to be able to comment, they're going to be able, and that's what it's like for me. Like, social media it's really good for networking. It's really good for meeting new people. It's like, it's crazy that you can communicate with people that you never thought you could ever communicate with before. But, you got to be careful with, the sticks in your pocket. You never know when they can poke you in the butt. So
my buddy Hooch, best friend, basically a brother to me, he has like no social media presence, and in a sense, like I'm jealous of that man. He doesn't have, like, he has Twitter and Instagram and everything deleted from his phone. Now, in a sense, I kind of like, as someone trying to grow my YouTube and trying to grow my Twitch, I use those also to like network and connect with other content creators and such in my community. But I also like upload, like my Instagram's mostly clips, right? Clips from Twitch and such. But he has like no social media presence, and he doesn't want a social media presence. Like he thinks that social media is, not good too. He thinks that's like destroying just basic human interaction and everything. And that's,
I think I agree. Like I mean,
and good for him, you know, to like not get sucked into that. I mean, dude, it's a freaking black hole. Once you're in, you're sucked into it. I mean, it's so hard not to look at your phone.
I agree. And like, I think I've like watched a lot of documentaries and like, you know, episodes where people have gave up social media for months and like coming back. I've always been interested about, you know, what they have to say. And every time they always come back and say, I feel the best I've ever felt, you know, like
But here's the thing. Why would they come back, man? Because once you come back, you're going right down that black hole again.
And that's like, for me, I've always tried to stay off these platforms because like I've never, you know, like the only reason I even brought them back is because, you know, for my brand, you know, for my streams, for my content. So like, that's the only reason I opened that can of worms again. You know, so I was somebody from high school who posted like, you know, maybe 5 pictures. And after that, I was like, you know what, like, why am I even doing this? Like, I don't even care enough. So I stayed off of it. You know, I would sometimes go on there to see like what other people were up to and stuff. But at the same time, like, that's the thing. Like, I feel like people nowadays are so exposed to how great everybody else's lives are that they think what they have is just shitty. You know, it's like what they have is bad. So I think that's why it's so destructive, you know, in our society. So
yeah, I agree. So this may come off the wrong way to, I don't know, like, who's gonna be the thing about my podcast. I want it to be kind of within the gaming community. You know, I want streamers, content creators, esport players, and professionals. And so I don't know like what the audience watching this right now is going to be, so they may get upset with me about this, but man, esports kids, you know, especially Fortnite kids and such, God, they are so annoying on Twitter. You know, kids who are like super into G Fuel and kids who are like super into, you know, like not the big level gaming like Cloud9 and G2 and everything, but like I'm talking like the smallest teams like Soar and blah blah blah. Man, I'm so tired of scrolling through my timeline and seeing from a 150 different people like, I love you, say it back, and like the same like regurgitated tweets and attitudes, and like I may
like,
piss some people off, but man, they're so annoying.
No, it's like where's my actives, or like
that one's like the most annoying. Like, I'm going on an unfollowing spree, this if you're active. Like, nah, dude, don't do that, you know. I will never get sucked into that stuff. Like, I don't know, like those, it's so childish.
No, I agree. Like, I think that for me, I would just feel cringe like tweeting that stuff. I couldn't do it. I feel like for me, I can't. I gotta be real. I gotta be like,
I'm underrated.
Like, I just feel, even if I got big, like I would never do that. I would just tweet whatever is on my mind or something, or like let people know about something. Like, I would never be like thinking about unfollowing some people. Like, make sure you like favorite and retweet, or like let me know that you're active or something. It's like, dude, what? It's like, I don't even know how these people can do this stuff. Like, I feel like my brain is just like, it would just fucking melt if I tried to do that shit. But I don't know. I just feel like, because I've always been a real person, I've always been someone who, I hate when people do stuff like that's like with the trends, or like that's fake. Like, I'm always just how I am. Like, I'll only tweet stuff where,
God, dude, you're so hipster.
It's just, like, it's from me. Like, I will never ever tweet like, and I've tweeted back in the day as like a joke. Like, I've definitely had tweets where I'm like, you know, let me know who's live right now. Like,
when I do it, I usually do it as a parody because I'm so annoyed by it.
I only do it as a parody. I'll never ever like tweet that legitimate. It's usually like just me messing around and being like, yo, like, I'm gonna be like all these other guys out there who are just saying these random tweets that are just so, it's like, who would even like interact with that? It's like, it just makes no sense to me. I don't know. The internet's weird, dude.
You know, I'm so tired of the people who are like, oh, streaming's not working for me, I'm leaving, I'm never doing this again. Like, the next day I see a tweet like, I'm live, come hang out and everything. I'm like, stop it. You're trying to do it for publicity. You're trying to get sympathy. You're trying to, you know, sympathy follows sympathy money and all that. That's not gonna get you anywhere. And that's like, exactly what those people are trying to get.
It's like, come on, dude. It's like, it's just live streaming. It's not like your aunt's dying or something. It's like, it's like, just everybody needs to relax, you know. It's like, people take this live streaming thing like it's like life and death, or life and death. I don't, And that, like, for me, it's like,
Mhm.
bro, it's live streaming, man. Like, just live stream, all right?
Dude,
Like, you don't
I'm
need to
chilling
get-
out or I'm playing a video game. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
fire up a
people
stream,
are like,
you know?
or like that's why I can never ever get tied into like drama in
Yeah.
like the gaming community. It's like, bro, I feel like I have so much greater stuff to worry about than worrying about what some random
Yeah.
person is saying on my iPhone. It's like that's why, like, when people get drawn into this stuff, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? It's like, I don't know. I don't want to get like too. I could probably say some pretty outrageous stuff right now, but I don't want to get like too controversial. But like,
Yeah.
I agree. I think stuff like that is just like, I don't know. It's
Dude,
toxic.
get controversial. It's
If
interesting.
if I ever see somebody tweet stuff like that and I'm following them, I'll just instantly unfollow them. It's like, I don't even. Why am I even following this person then? You know, it's
Right.
like. I don't know. I've never been that kind of person. I can't do that kind of stuff. Like my body just physically can't tweet shit. Like that.
Yeah, I'm just so tired of seeing regurgitated tweets from the same people.
Mhm.
It's so bad. Gaming community Twitter. You guys gotta, fix it. You guys gotta work on it. Come on.
It is.
Get your act together. Get creative. Get
I don't know.
original.
But at the end of the day, though, it is kind of fun going on there and like seeing some of like the drama in the gaming community, just because it's like, bro, like, why do these people even care this much? It's like, everybody needs to take a chill pill, but it's just funny seeing like how much people like get into it. You know, it's like, dude, we're
gaming
literally
has
just sitting
been that
playing
way since
games.
day
It's like,
one.
but you gotta realize that like some people, this is like their lives, and this is all they have to worry about. So like for me, like I still take gaming as like something that's interesting, something that I enjoy, but I'm never gonna like come out like it's never gonna be at that point where I'm just causing drama on like Twitter or something. It's like, bro, come on, man. It's like you gotta if you're doing that kind of stuff, then you got a lot of other stuff to be worrying about. Like those people have nothing better to do than just do that kind of shit on Twitter, and it's like, come on.
Yeah, it's bad right now. So speaking of gaming and teams and everything, so for people who don't know, me and Butter, we were in Regal Reserve together. There's some stuff I could say about that. Who's got a strong opinion is Jack Breacher. I can't wait to have him as my guest. Because he and I, and that's going to be something that we're going to talk about is I hope that we're going to talk about is the unprofessionalism in a professional gaming organization and how much of that's out there right now. But that's a whole other topic. That's a whole other can of beans. I'm going to open up at a later time. If you want to be part of that chat, we can get you involved too. It'd be awesome to have you back on again. But we were in Regal Reserve together, if you've heard of them. And my boy, so I stepped back because I wanted to focus on my brand, and like a whole bunch of stuff was going down around Christmas time and after Christmas time. I just could not commit. And then they said they were doing cuts, so I went out while I was high, before I got cut. But my boy here, Butter, he's big league now, guys. He's Rogue. Like look at when he streams, Team Rogue Nation, and on his Twitter, a streamer for Rogue. Like, dude, that's big league. Tell us about that, man. Like, for people who don't know, Dr. Lupo, it's Lupo, man. He's in Rogue. He's an OG.
Yeah. So, wait, can you still hear me? I don't know.
Yeah, I can hear you.
We're good. Okay. So yeah, let me give you guys a lowdown about so like Chase said, me and him started in Regal Reserve. That was the first ever eSports organization I ever really joined.
Same.
It's kind of a funny story because it was kind of like first when I was starting, and I was just on Twitter and I saw like, oh, like they were doing all these recruitments for, and I was looking at a bunch of other teams at the time, because my dream as a little kid, it's always been like, oh, I've always wanted to say like one day I could join FaZe or join like Obey or something that's like, one of those crazy esports, teams where, because gaming really became like a big deal back, like I mentioned earlier, like in the MW2 days, where like FaZe kind of like was like this new thing, like everybody was
Thieves
freaking
is
out
a
about
dream
that.
for me.
Yeah, well, like those are esports teams that like I actually respect,
Yeah.
Like, those are ones that they're pretty well established, they actually
compete too.
Yeah. So like I don't know. I see all these things on Twitter, about these RCs and stuff, and I was like, fuck it, dude. Like, why not just see what happens? And I ended up getting, selected. So for me, I never really took, where I was at, like, kind of serious. I kind of just still focused on myself, and then, like, at the same time, kind of was just like, oh, like, I'm a part of this esports team, like, blah blah blah. Like, that's cool. They could help me. But I don't know. I felt like I never really got anything out of joining, these teams. Like, I felt like everyone I've been on, I just felt like it was more for them than it was like for me.
That's
like
exactly how Breacher and I both felt.
Yeah, and I felt like obviously, these teams want to help grow their brand and like their organization, but I feel like they have it backwards. Like, you want to help your streamers grow as much as possible, because at the end of the day, they're going to be what's giving your organization, the exposure. So if you have good streamers and like streamers that are popping off, it's like they're going to be interested in what team you're a part of. So like the organization is naturally going to grow from that. You know what I mean? So I think the way they have it is backwards for a lot of these. And I see a lot of these kids like out there chasing clout, like on these social networks, saying like, oh, like, I joined like Synergy, or, oh, I joined like Red Reserve. And it's like, I just feel like, I don't know. It just feels so fake to me. It's like, what are these teams actually giving these people? Like, what are you actually benefiting from these? Unless like you're in an org like 100 Thieves or like FaZe or something. Like, obviously you're gonna get a lot of stuff from them, because they're established. Which I'm not necessarily hating on these organizations. Like, a lot of people, it's a big confidence booster for them to get involved in these, and
for
selected.
The owners, it's a business.
And for me, so like the whole Rogue thing. So I saw that Rogue was doing like a stream team, which was like their Rogue Nation team, where you could just apply on their Discord, and then it was kind of like a farming stream team that kind of helped them decide if they wanted to bump anybody up to the actual Rogue stream team. So someone like me who didn't really want to commit to an actual esports org and just kind of like worry about myself and my own brand, it was kind of the perfect option for me, because I don't really have to do like meetings. I don't have to participate in any events. Like, I'm a part of them and I'm representing them, but I'm not, I'm not so high on their stream team to where like I'm, I'm benefit like. It's hard. No, it's hard to explain. Like, it's for a lot of people who don't understand like what this is or know what it is. Like, I'm trying to make it like layperson terms to where they understand, where I'm coming from, and they can kind of get the background, or where they're not confused when we're talking about. Wow,
dude, that was a good 2019 way of putting it.
Yeah,
gender
like,
neutral, not layman. It's layperson.
That's great. Like, for me, I don't know,
so
like
progressive.
Being a part of the Rogue stream team, it's just kind of something to where like, let's say they do notice that I'm doing successful and like they want to give me an opportunity to be on the actual team, like I'll take it, because that's something where I can network well. There's actually streamers on there that have they have their roots in the ground a lot, like they're pretty well set in stone. So like that would be something where I think would be a good opportunity. But that's the only reason I don't want to go out there and do like RCs for these other organs. Like, I think for me, my philosophy is, if I can build my brand and myself and my stream and my community up enough, they will come to me. Like, I don't have to worry about searching for them. Like, that will come naturally. So like, for me, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm trying to just focus on myself, my community, and all that stuff. I'm not worried about joining these big orgs right now and trying to get as much clout and all that as a lot of these other people, because I feel like at the end of the day, they're in it for that, and I feel like it's not going to last. Where like, for me, I'm doing this because it's something that I'm passionate about, something that I want to do for my community, and then if it comes, like, it comes, and I hope that these esports orgs, I hope that these sport orgs can recognize that. I feel like a lot of these people that recruit for these things and the people that they look for, I feel like it's just the decisions they make and some of the people that they recruit. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, you can just tell right away that this person is only chasing clout. They don't care about anything else. They don't care about their community. They don't care about, and some people and some organizations, they want that, like those are the kind of kids they want. But I don't really necessarily want to be a part of an organization like that, So I don't know. I think at the end of the day, being a part of an esports org, it's totally up to the person, Like, if it's something that helps them and they feel a part of something greater and that they have value, then like, yeah, go for it. But for me, I'm just gonna be riding solo right now. The rogue thing is kind of just like, I'm a part of it, but it's not something that like I'm really a part of. You know what I mean? I'm kind of just a part of like their community. And then if I get the call one day to say, yo, come up to the big leagues, and like, sure, why not?
Yeah, that was part of my issue with Regal Reserve. I just couldn't. I don't know. I wanted to focus on my brand. I felt like I had to focus too much on their brand. And the thing, it seems like it's really hard to even grow within a community, because they encourage that you watch your fellow teammate streams and everything, or like retweet this, retweet that, do this, do that. But how many people actually did that? It was only the same people I recognized who were getting the same viewers and the same attention.
And I don't want fake, like, those are people who are obviously being fake because they're for, like, I want people that want to do that because they actually enjoy the stream and they want to support you. And like, that's what I felt. That's like, I could care less about having like fake people coming in and just like, I want people that want to be a part of my stream because they actually want to be a part of it,
Because how many people from Regal followed me on Twitch but never come into my streams? Like, yeah, it's cool to go up in follower numbers, but analytically, like, none of them anymore. Besides you and Parker, you guys are like the only ones anymore who will come into my streams.
I don't care about like how much followers I have or how much viewers I get. I think the biggest thing that I'm focusing on right now is just like establishing a community to where I'm having fun, I'm enjoying it. These are people that, and like over time, like that community will build to where, if I do end up getting like a big host or something, like, you better believe that those people are going to be people that are going to like stay after, and like when that time comes, you got to make sure like, you're ready. And I feel if you have all these fake people and all these, people that are just in there just because they're either forced to do it or they're just, bots, it's like, it's not like, it's not worth it, because at the end of the day, that person is not enjoying themselves, like like, for me, there's a point where I cared so much about viewers and viewership that I could tell like it was having an effect on me, because I thought like, there must be something I'm not doing right. I'm not getting, like, I should have 100 viewers right now. Like, I feel like I have the potential, but like, I would get down on myself because I'd be like, bro, I'm not putting out these numbers. But then I realized that at the end of the day, a lot of people that are at that level, it's not necessarily like legit, like it's not real, like they have all these other loopholes to getting those many viewers or to getting those many. It's like, at the end of the day, I just want to have a community that is like legit, that's real, where I'm enjoying myself. And like, I think that should be how it is for every streamer, because it's not going to last. Like, if you're doing it just for the viewers, just for the money, it's like, bro, it's like, just enjoy yourself and be the best streamer you can possibly be, and like all that stuff will come, like that it will come. You don't need to worry about it.
The wise words from Butter.
That's what I'm saying.
The last, I guess, point across this that I want to make, and I'm sure you feel this way too. I went on a little bit of a Twitter rant because sometime around, I think it was on Saturday, I was trying to go into like different small streamers and support them, right? And I get this all the time, and I think I finally, like, what they call it, sister snapped, I think. Sister snapped, because I get so annoyed by how many small streamers don't engage with their community. Man, I go in there, and it's almost like they have to feel like they're a big streamer, like, oh, it's just a viewer. Like, I'll say, hey, what's up? In the chat, or I'll follow it, and like they may just look and say, hey, like, thanks for the follow. Like, they don't get excited. Like, man, when someone new comes into my chat, dude, I'm like, oh, what's up, welcome to community, everyone. Honestly, say hi, welcome. And then when they follow, like, I even if I'm not having a good day or if I'm not excited, I act like I'm excited. I get hyped. I want to make them feel like they're welcomed here, make them want to stay. It's not just about growing, but it's also about retaining, right? And I get so annoyed by how many small streamers, dude, there's a ton. You could go on Twitch tonight and look at some small streamers who just don't engage at all, and they're the ones that will never grow, but they don't understand that. They're already acting like entitled large streamers. And even the big guys, like even freaking Ninja, who's gotten worse recently, like, since he's grown up, with understandable, he has like 70,000 people plus usually watching his streams. Like, it's tough to communicate, but he still makes an effort at times. to make the community feel engaged, and these guys with only like 5 viewers can't even do that. It boggles me.
I hate that when I see a small streamer, like I've been in some small streamers streams where they've gotten like $100 donos, and they'll just be like, thanks for the $100.
Yeah, I subbed to one.
I'm like, bro, what? Like, if somebody goes out of their way in my community to give me their hard-earned $100 bill, like, I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't even know what to say. I feel like speechless. I'm like, because like, I imagine myself in that shoes, you know? It's like that person is sacrificing their money to support you. And like, how are you just going to be like, yo, thanks for the 100, dude? You know, it's like, oh, like, I want to slap those people and be like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, you think you're like this fucking guru that like is the best streamer on Twitch ever? It's like, bro, it literally drives me nuts when, like you said, when small streamers, they don't engage. Like, if I didn't engage my chat and I didn't have people to talk to, you wouldn't have a chat. I would be so boring, or I would be so bored. Like, I would hate streaming because I felt like I was just doing it like for nothing. You know, where like, I mean, when new people come in and new people are like, you know, asking me about my day, like I genuinely like, I'm interested because I love meeting new people. I love to talk to people. I love to learn about, you know, people's lives and stuff, and you know, make new friends, make new connections. Like stuff like that is something that keeps me like alive on Twitch. And I feel like when these small streamers do this, I mean, maybe they don't, like, their end goal is like they don't want to stream on Twitch as like a career or something, where they're just doing it to just play and show their game, where I understand that. But if you're actually doing it to like, you know, create a community and create like an environment where these people feel like it's like a home to them, or somewhere where they can go and like have a relationship with you and stuff, like I can't stand it when they're just so ungrateful, you know, with what they get and like what they receive. It's like, oh, it just blows my mind, man. I don't know, man. Yeah, that's probably my biggest pet peeve.
Oh, for sure. I just don't get it, man. It boiled over because I got so tired of it. This guy had like 5 viewers, and I went in and like I subbed him. I used a Twitch Prime sub on him, you know, and in Twitch Prime, like, it's not even the person's hard-earned money, and like I get excited about that. Someone's gonna subscribe to me. I'm like, dude, you are top tier. Welcome to this community. Like, it hypes me because like they it's not just a monetary, but yeah, they picked me, and that makes me feel so good. I dropped a Twitch Prime sub on this guy, and this guy probably no more than like 5 subs or something. In fact, I remember seeing a sub goal or whatever. He was trying to get to 5 subs. I dropped a sub, it got him to 4, and he just looked, he's like, oh, Twitch Prime, thanks. Like, that's what he said. I was like, are you kidding me, dude? And I was like, I shared in the chat, like, man, if I could refund a Twitch Prime sub, I would do it right now, because that's not how you react to that. Yeah, you know, you should be head over heels, like literally head over heels. Keo, Cloud9 Keo, guy's wicked sick at Fortnite. Botmot, Lucky Botmot, his key bindings. He's gotten bigger, but he still does a backflip every sub that he gets, and that's taken like engaging with the community to a whole other level. Imagine getting like at least minimum 30 subs a night and you're doing backflips. Like, no, like that's what, and I think that's what this guy's like, Twitch Prime, huh? Thanks. A lot of people on Twitch who are like really big, they don't even care. Like, even if I was big on Twitch and people would give me money or support me, like any little, you know, Twitch Prime or dono I'd get, like I would try to show as much support and as much gratitude for that as I can, even though like it's hard when you're getting so much. But like I like for people to actually do that and to show that kind of support, like I will never take that for granted and just be like, oh, thanks for the $100, you know, like, oh, thanks for the 1,000, dude. Like, I hate when streamers do that, bro. It's like, dude, that person literally just went out of their way to thank you and support you, and all you're gonna say is thanks, bro. Like I can't stand people like that, and I don't know why those people are even big on these platforms, you know. Like, that's what I think tilts me the most, is like, bro, like you don't even deserve to be there, you know. Like, you're good at gaming and stuff, but bro, like these people are doing everything they can to try to like support you and stuff, and if you're just gonna be like, you know, turn your back to them and be like, oh, thanks, man, like I know it's $1,000, but you know you know, it's like, bro, if somebody gave me $1,000 dono, I'd probably fucking IRL streaming me running like naked through the streets or something. Dude. Yeah, for sure. Like, right through campus.
That's what I'm saying. That's
right
what I'm
past
saying.
a UC police officer, like, yeah, dude, it's my dome, but I just got $100, you know, thanks.
Like, that's why I would never ever give money to a big streamer. That would like, there's definitely some big streamers out there where I feel like, you know, if I gave them money, they would be like really grateful for it, you know. But I would never ever give my money to a streamer where it's literally just like another number to them. They're just like, oh, okay, thanks, bro.
I
Like,
mean,
it's
they're
like a weird, like,
grateful,
robot.
but yeah, they become so numb to it, you know, like
Yeah,
like they have a top D where like almost guaranteed all these big streamers when they fire out, they're easily gonna make 500 donations a night, easily. Like, and that's like lowballing it, you know. And yeah, in my opinion, I'm not gonna say they don't deserve money, because essentially here's a way to look at Twitch streamers and content creators. We're the street entertainers, but like on the computer, like on a platform, you know. So essentially we're the same thing. Like when people if people like our entertainment, they're gonna donate money to us because it supports us, it supports the stream. You know, we're gonna get better equipment so we can improve the stream. Just like you're supporting the guy who played Despacito on the street in freaking Fort Myers Beach or something like that, you know. It's but, and so big streamers still, you know, $5, they're providing you free entertainment. That's one way to look at it. $5, it doesn't hurt, you know. I'm more than happy to donate to them. But I mean, there's a kid out there who's putting their all into streams right now, right? He could easily use, like, maybe his donation goal is 150 for a new microphone or something, right?
Yep.
He could use that because you know that small streamer who's using, like, doing their all to improve the production quality of their streams, to, you know, engage with the community, to grow, and they're actually passionate about growing and they're engaging. You know that they're going to use that money for that exact reason, to buy a new chair, you know, to buy a new mic, to get a new monitor, maybe like a new graphics card. They're going to put it back into the stream, and those are the kids that, in my opinion, yeah, they deserve those the big money donations.
No, and I agree. And I think a lot of these kids, especially who donate to these really big streamers, like, that streamer has no idea who you are, or doesn't really even care about you. So like, it just shows how powerful, like, the sense of, like, in humans, like the bandwagoning thing, you know. Like I'm not gonna, like, you know, call, like, I have nothing wrong, or I have nothing against Tifu, but he makes so much money from kids just like giving them money, and that they're never ever gonna have a relationship with him, you know. But like, they think like, oh, because he's the big streamer, I'm gonna hop on the bandwagon because he's the best and he has the best stream, so I'm just gonna, I don't even, they might not even necessarily like TV, but they're just gonna hop on the bandwagon because they just see it as something that they need to do. So that's why it blows my mind, where it's like, if I'm ever gonna give somebody a donation, it's probably gonna be a small streamer that's actually gonna be grateful for it, where you know it's actually making an impact in their lives, you know what I mean? So I don't know, I think, like, even today, if for some crazy reason, like, FaZe picked me up and I started streaming for FaZe and, like, they announced me, I guarantee, like, out of nowhere, I would have thousands of viewers, just because they're like, oh, he's in FaZe, like, I have to watch him now. Like, they're like, oh, it's like he's like the new best thing. Like, they instantly like, that's how crazy those little things can take you from literally a small streamer that averages like 30 people to thousands of viewers, just because, like, people have some sense of reason to watch you now because you're in FaZe. Even though, like, like that, it's crazy to me, you know. It's
look
like,
at Mew. Do you know who Mew is? FaZe Mew?
Yeah, I do.
His girlfriend's Alyssa Flowers. I think that Mew is doing everything right. So, like, it's crazy because he was already somewhat of a big streamer, but, like, you know, just like a year ago, his streams averaged, on a good day, like 50-60 views, but typically around 30 viewers seemed to be his average. And then he joined FaZe as a trick shotter. Well deserved, because that dude's got ridiculous trick shots. I really hope to have, like, Mew as a guest, because I want to hear, you know, I want to hear him talk about what's it like being in FaZe, and most importantly, how is he able to still engage with his community the way he does? Because now he's gone from 30 viewers to, dude, he averages between like 150 to 200 viewers easily now since he joined FaZe, and he's a trick shotter, and they've released several montages on their YouTube of him. Like, he's big league now, but he's never missed a single chat that I've sent him. He never misses chats. Like, this guy is pulling off, you know, 10 plus kill games on Fortnite. He's pulling off trick shots. He's got a ridiculous chat going. you know, those 200 viewers, they're pretty freaking engaged because he's engaged. I mean, I can't believe it. I don't think I would be able to keep up like he does, because even like, I mean, dude, like if I have 20 viewers in my chat and they all start talking, like I miss stuff. I know I do.
And that's what at the end of the day sucks. But like, it blows my mind though how a lot of these streamers on Twitch, like for example, I'll use like a streamer like Hamlin's. Like I love Hamlin's. I think Hamlin's is an awesome guy. I think he has awesome energy, and I think that like he's trying his best to read every dono, you know, thank everybody for their Twitch primes. Like he will take time out of his way to go over like the notifications and like read their messages. You know, like his chat is super sus, super goofy. Like he's all about that. And like for him, it's like, why would this guy not be the top streamer on Twitch? You know, like that for me is like, when we look at people like Tfue and Ninja who rarely ever talk to their chat, but for some reason like they're at the pinnacle of Twitch, where like I think somebody like Hamlin's way more entertaining than either of them. And I mean, it might just be because he doesn't stream as much or not as many people know about him, but like that's how complex Twitch is, or like these platforms, is like the people who get up at the top, they usually stay up there, you know, like it's hard. It's hard to get to that point where you're at the top, because once you get to the top, like, bro, you're chilling, man.
It's so rewarding, though. It is so rewarding. Honestly, I can't wait to get there. Like, one day, man. One day, right?
No, like that's the thing. Like, you have to. I think it all comes back down to you got to find a way to be different, to be unique, to bring some sort of different aspect, you know, from your life in your stream or something to make people want to watch you. Because
for me, it's Hawaiians.
So that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta, and like for me, I think the biggest thing I have going for me right now is like being a college athlete, to say like, oh, like to use that as part of my brand, to say like, okay, like if you're a college athlete, like I play college football, like this could be a stream that you're interested in because you want to know about how my football career is going. I can give you tips and advice about the college recruiting process, the transition, like, you know, what's it like being a college football player. And like for me, that's been my kind of big thing, is like, you know, but a lot of people, and it's hard because I can't really brand that as myself because of the NCAA. Like they'll shut me down, you know, like I can't. That's why it's hard for me to be like, I'm a college football player, but I also play games. Like I stream.
Yeah, because
like, I can't do that.
Heaven forbid if you wear your jersey and make money that night, you know. That's
well, I can't even say in my stream title, like call it, like if on YouTube, if I said like college football player, best college football Fortnite player, like I could. The NCAA could easily shut me down and like get the copyright and like ban me from it. Like I'd lose eligibility. Right. So that is just like the reason it's hard. But like that it goes back to, like, you just got to be unique. You got to be different. So anybody who's watching, like if you're thinking about starting a stream, you got to find a way, put yourself in another person's shoes and be like, why does my stream matter? Like, why should I, you know, go out of my time and my day to come watch your stream? Like, what value do you bring to me? Like, what entertainment do you have that's different than that other person who might be a way better player than you, but has the exact same stream? It's like, of course they're going to go to him rather than you. So like, you gotta do stuff that's different. And I think, you know, people like Dr. Disrespect are always doing new shit. Like this man ordered a fucking use as his edit bind, and he had a pedal board foot cam. It's like, it looked like the bass thing on a drum set, like where you hit like the pedal and it smacks the thing against the drum. Like this man, he's innovative. Like he's doing something that's different that other streamers aren't doing. And I think that's how he grew, is like he's always been that weird dude who's always tried to do different things. And I think people are starving for that. Like they want new content, they want something that's different. And I think that's what really is going to make you succeed. But you got to be smart, and you got to be dialed in, man. You got to be grinding, bro, because people think Twitch just success comes like that overnight. It's not like YouTube. Where get the algorithm down, you can get a lot of views on your videos, and it's like Twitch, people are only going to follow you unless like they actually like you and like they actually want to be. It's not like, you know, you can just upload a YouTube video and then just over time, like you're going to grow your YouTube. It's like, it's way harder on Twitch to get people to follow you than it ever is for people to sub to you on YouTube. And that's facts, bro. That's why I hate when people say, dude, Twitch is so easy to grow on, like blah, blah, blah. It's like,
no, it's not
like,
at
YouTube
all.
is way easier to grow on than Twitch, because they're not following you because of, or they're not subbing to you because of your content, like that you're creating on YouTube, like they're following you because of you and like how you are as a person. Like they're here for you, not just the videos that you're creating, you know? So
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. I think that's what's really at the end of the day, the secret sauce on these platforms is gotta be unique. You got to be different. You got to do something that's gonna, you know, shed a new light on you know, on something. So
the Twitch secret formula, man. Yeah, Doc just does it all right. He's got a character. He's got slogans that people love to say. The 2-time, the back-to-back, you know, the champion club. Back in the day, the Slick Daddy club. It is just stuff like the mustache.
He puts on a persona.
Yeah.
He's acting like some dude from like the 1980s with, you know, the mullet, like the alpha male. Like that's why people
action
like to
hero, you know.
It's like watching. It's like an entertainment. It's like, yeah, he's becoming another person. So like, obviously, of course, like people are gonna be involved in like Dr. Disrespect stream because like it's something that's different. Like there's not a lot of streamers that do that and do it well because a lot of people break character. Like Dr. Disrespect rarely breaks character. So I just think it's funny seeing him like, you know, do like random fills on games and like he'll have like these little kids in his games and like the little kids will say something and he'll just like instantly roast them about like their name, like, or just say like the most ridiculous stuff to them and just like you can tell the whole time he's just acting, but he's keeping it like that. So for him, like even if he started brand new and nobody knew who he was, like I feel like he would still grow because it's something where people are like, okay, like this guy obviously has it going on. It's something different, it's something unique. So like as a small streamer, that's something you gotta look into. You know, you gotta find out what you can do to separate yourself from other people, because if you're just doing trendy shit that every other streamer is doing, then what makes your stream special? Like why is your stream so much better than everybody else's stream on Twitch? You know, and
there's 1,000 people streaming Fortnite right now. How are you going to separate yourself, especially from if you have below 15 viewers? Good luck, you know, because there's unlike YouTube, there's no recommendation. They're not pushing a stream in your face. I mean, even the Discover page, it's not like it should be. Now, one of my best streams was a freaking Civil War game, because I guess somehow I end up on Discover because I was like the only dude streaming this game. So I actually had like a decent amount of viewers and everyone's chilling and such. And that's another topic, probably saved to the next podcast, but talking about becoming specified to a game and growing that community and that almost like jail you get put in a sense, like you know, you play a game, you get followers, you get viewers. You're interested in a new game, you're playing that, they're not coming back because they want to watch that game.
And I agree, that's a whole other thing. But like just an example, like me, I've always been a Fortnite streamer. You know, the second Apex came out, my viewers went from like 30 to like 9 on Apex. You know, like I'd always average like around 30 viewers on Fortnite. I switched to Apex, it would be anything from 9 to lower, just because it's a hard transition. You know, like people are there because they know you from playing that game. But if you can find that community that's going to support you no matter what, that's how you see who your true followers are, and people that are there for you rather than just the game. And I think that if you can make that community greater and you can expand that community to people that will follow you no matter what, that's the success on Twitch, because you can go to any game you want and they're still going to be there. You know, they're still going to be there supporting you. So as a small streamer, fuck the viewers, man. It's all about your community. Try to make your community as best as you can, because at the end of the day, let's say you're a really good Fortnite streamer and you're really good at Fortnite, you're really good, you're like ranked top in Fortnite. If you switch to another game like fucking, I don't know, like Sea of Thieves, let's see where your viewers go now, bro. Like, let's see what people actually care about you as a person and as a streamer. Versus like, you know, Fortnite. So like that, it's interesting, and that's why I stopped worrying about viewers, and I want to try to build people who are actually there for the stream and like for me, rather than
and for your community too. Like they can entertain themselves chatting with the chat, you know.
No, I agree 100%.
Yeah, well, it's coming up on 2 hours of doing this, and I'm sure you want to get to either playing Fortnite or chatting with your chat. Dude, I think that this first podcast, we talked about a lot of things. I feel like there's more that we could even talk about. So I definitely got to have you on again, man.
Definitely, bro. I enjoyed this. I think it was something new, something different.
Yeah.
It was probably interesting, for a lot of people. Like I never really have done this on my channel. So my chat probably is not used to this. But like I said,
just explain it to them, after this.
Yeah, and I think you can see too when you do things like this, like what people actually care about you and genuinely are interested in what you have to say,
Yeah.
So
so before we take off, if anyone from my chat or from Butter's chat, if you guys have a question for either he or I or both, go ahead and let us know now. And for the next 5 minutes or so, we'll just answer questions, or just if you guys want to talk about anything, something that we discussed, a question about streaming or content creation, anything really.
Definitely. Like if you guys have anything that you want to ask us, that you want to ask my guy Chase, or if anybody from Chase's chat that you want to ask me about anything that we talked about, definitely feel free. We're kind of opening this up to Q&A right now, as we're wrapping up this sexy podcast, first ever.
And I'm gonna be re-uploading this to YouTube.
Definitely.
So for those of you who, because I know I have a whole different crowd that watches my YouTube. Again, my YouTube gains a pretty decent traffic. Something to keep in mind when you guys watch on Twitch, watch the podcast live. I plan on doing a viewer Q&A at the end of each stream. So
definitely
come in with questions.
Because I think at the end of the day, being a small streamer, a lot of people in your chat, they don't really have the opportunity to learn about you, or to figure out your opinions, what you are interested in. Like, because usually they know you as somebody who just games. They see you play Fortnite, all that kind of stuff. But like, this is kind of the time where if you guys have any questions just about us, about our lives, about stuff we talked about, like, feel free. Like, this is your guys' time. That's what I gotta say. Will you guys be doing more podcasts? Chase is definitely, make sure you guys are following Chase. He's going to be doing a lot more of these podcasts in the future, with a lot of other people similar to me, who are also very interesting, that you guys should definitely go check out. And I think me and Chase, in the future too, like I would be down to do another one of these podcasts.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
I think if we had some good stuff, we could talk about, I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones or.
Dude. Yeah, dude. So we need a podcast after the finale.
That's what I'm saying. And I wish that, TOS didn't. I wish we could do a viewing party, and watch Game of Thrones on stream. Like that, I think that would be so cool. But it's all right. I mean, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, these are potential topics and stuff that we can talk about in the future, or just, I don't know if we could get recommendations from people about stuff we should cover, or just because I think it's kind of nice after a while to kind of take a break from gaming and just talk, and have these discussions, open it up to these kind of aspects of our Twitch. So I'm definitely down, baby.
But yeah, to answer your question, Lexi, I'll be doing these every Wednesday night at 8:00 p.m. Eastern time, and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. So if you're a morning person, you got Sunday morning. If you're an evening person, you got Wednesday night. I want to keep them around 2 hours long, something a little more manageable, so you're not wasting too much of your time listening in on the podcast. But I really want to just, I want to do something that competes with the likes of, man, I love the Joe Rogan Experience. I just love podcasts in general. And how I started this is a passion project of mine. This is something I've always wanted to do. I've wanted to either do a radio show, a morning radio show, or I wanted to do a podcast. And so this is my dream. Cut to the chase. It's a pun, play on my name. That's I've been thinking about this for a while. I reached out to Butter last week about getting this going. I'm so excited to do it. And if you guys missed the podcast or want to rewatch parts, or just in general, the Wednesday night podcast will be live on my YouTube. So if you want to subscribe, it's youtube.com/Chase TV. Friday morning, and the Sunday morning podcast will be on YouTube by Tuesday. So 2 days later, they'll be re-uploaded to YouTube. But yeah, that's
if you guys missed any of this, it's going to be on his YouTube, so you guys can go back and watch the entire podcast. He can maybe even like time frame it, where in the description it maybe like says the different the timestamps where like the different topics we talk about, or something like that. But no, definitely, I think that, you know, podcast is something that I've never done this before. And I've always been interested in, you know, talking with another person. You know, like I said, I've always loved Joe Rogan, stuff like that. I think even in the future too, like we might not even limit it to just one person. Like we can maybe get multiple people, you know, maybe 3 people talking in a podcast. 'Cause, you know, it's more perspective, it's more you know, knowledge, more just diversity. Who knows? Like that could be something in the you know, the near future that could be interesting as well.
Maybe if Butter wants to cut into his time, maybe he'll become a more regular, a regular to the podcast.
Yup. You know, I see you got a little bark peanut.
Yeah, that's my dog. She's been bugging me this entire podcast. She's been nudging my leg, and
I kept wondering what kind of dog you have. I'm curious.
So she's a plot hound. I want to say she's like a plot hound boxer mix. Don't know for sure. We rescued her when she was only a year old. Foster cared and then kept her. Nice. She's 3 now, but don't know for sure what she is. She's beautiful, brindled. Pictures of her on my Instagram. I got a question here from Weeb, and I think you're gonna like this. He said, "We're gonna wear these shirts every stream."
You know, I think
Butter's always looking fresh.
I think this could be, you know, I got a lot of good stuff in my closet that, you know, I never really dabble with. So I can maybe whip out, you know, some of that luxury, you know, like you never know.
Yeah, like, so I actually had this reflection because it started, you know, the weather's gotten warmer here. It's started getting nice. I realized that I don't have any summer clothes that's not like a polo with like Fisher anchors on it or something dumb like that, like super ridiculously frat or Hawaiians. That's literally all I've got for the summer. I was like, dude, I need basic t-shirts, but I'm gonna wear my Hawaiians during podcasts for sure. So Wednesday nights and Sunday mornings. You know? Yeah, it's my relaxed vibe chat, you know, having a beer and wearing the Hawaiian. So
that's what I'm saying.
Definitely during podcasts.
One of the kids in my chat asked, what kind of stuff do you guys talk about, or what kind of stuff will you guys talk about in podcasts? And
we talked about everything.
It just depends on, like, I don't know, just whatever is on the mind, whatever comes up. I mean, maybe in the future we'll have like themed podcasts about certain issues, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, we kind of just talk about just random stuff. And then, like I said, if maybe people in the future have stuff they want to discuss, or stuff that they want to hear us discuss, or some issues that people come up with, and like, yeah, like they could be catered towards those kind of things. But so far today's podcast was just kind of first ever.
This is my first one. Yeah,
we're just random questions, kind of just introductions, like about ourselves, like how do we stream, you know, like how do we go through college, stuff like that. You know, we talked about some stuff on Twitter, you know, some stuff like we kind of touched a lot of places. But yeah, definitely in the future, they could either just be random or they could be like themed podcasts. But I don't know, I like the podcast ideas. I think that it's something different, it's something interesting. You know, you can learn a lot from these, and you can get some good perspectives, you know, some good perspectives. So that, at the end of the day, I think is something that you know, definitely both of our communities could be interested in.
Yeah, so if you guys have any suggestions, any questions, you know, just
definitely,
you know, send it to us, like, just send it to us, like, in the chat, just like, hey, for a next podcast, here's something I want you to talk about, or on the re-upload on YouTube. You know, for those of you watching on YouTube, drop a comment, you know, let us know what you want to hear, what questions you have, and we'll definitely try to address it. But the best part about podcasts, and what I love, it's such a conversation piece. And for those of you who are watching us live on Twitch, we apologize that we haven't been engaging with the chat, and that's because the whole point of a podcast is it's a conversation between you and the other person. And you know, we thank all of you guys, you know, my chat, Butter's chat. We thank you guys for, putting up with that, just sitting there, engaging with your friends, with the chat, with the community, and understanding what we're doing. And it's pretty awesome.
And I think too, in the future, like, let's say for some crazy reason, like we had like some guests where they were like an expert in like a certain field.
Right.
Like, let's say we wanted for a podcast, like I'm just throwing out some crazy stuff, but let's say we wanted to talk about black holes or like
right,
like, go super deep on like life or something. Like maybe we could get like a guest on the podcast that's like a specialist in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Where we can ask them questions and like we can learn stuff, because I feel like a lot of the times on like podcasts like Joe Rogan, like he has these experts that come in where he tries to learn stuff from them, or like and then he tries to figure it out more, understand it more, and like I think that could be interesting, because we could get a different perspective in here. Like me and Chase could learn stuff, or just in general, like maybe if it's not even me, like if it's another person, like I think in the future, like that could be something that would be interesting. But we would just have to figure out like how to get them on here, who to get on here, and then try to like show these people that these podcasts are like legit, like establish them. Because like if it's a big person, like they're not just want to come on some random podcast. Like I think the more and more you can give yourself like legitimacy and be like, yo, these are actual podcasts. Like I've had some pretty cool guests come on here. Then like that, I think that would open the door to a lot of these other people being like, hey, like this is legit. Like I'm gonna do this. But for our first podcast, like let's go, baby. Like this was pretty good.
Yeah, this was good. We talked about a lot of things, and we got personal with things. Let's recap what we talked about. We talked about being a student athlete and content creator streamer. We talked about social media and its pros and cons, essentially. We talked about the gaming community, streaming, all that, like in a sense. And we even talked about pornography for a brief second. Like, and that's the beauty of podcasts. You just say something, you start with something, and it's a snowball effect.
And that's the best,
I've really enjoyed this. This was a great, we have a lot to learn, and we have a lot to build from this. Maybe find out a more professional way of saying it. I'd like to make an overlay where it can put like each video into, and just an overlay specifically for the podcast. But this was a lot of fun, guys, and thank you, Butter, for doing this, man. We need to make this a more regular thing, because it looks like your chat enjoyed it, my chat enjoyed it, and yeah, definitely Drubert and Weeb. After the season, like that Wednesday after the season finale of Game of Thrones, we're gonna be talking about Game of Thrones.
Oh, definitely. We gotta have a podcast.
Hands down. Oh yeah.
Because that's something that like a lot of people would want to get into.
Oh yeah.
But no, like once again, I appreciate you having me on here. Appreciate all you guys coming out here for the first ever podcast. I know a lot of you guys aren't used to this, and this is something that a lot of you guys might not necessarily like, but for a lot of you it could be interesting. To learn about us, learn about our opinions, our perspectives, stuff like that. I think it's definitely something that's interesting, something that is unique, coming from us. So once again, I appreciate you having me out here today. I think,
for sure.
Definitely in the future we should do this again, and I think for the first time, like I think it went really well. I think, just like you said, I think we can build on this. They're only going to improve, the professionalism, the overlays, the topics, the guests. Like it's only going to get better from here.
I agree.
And I'm hopeful for it, baby.
I agree. So if, from my community on YouTube, if you guys want to follow ohthebutter, he does a great job of branding himself, because literally everything is ohthebutter. On YouTube, I'm going to have links to his social medias and his Twitch in the description right down here, so you can go and click on it and get involved. He's got a fun community. I don't make it to mini streams because he's on the West Coast, and like since I've started working, I'm asleep by like 11 o'clock. So I'm not able to catch his streams as much anymore. But I do my best too, man.
Exactly. A lot of people on Twitch, they always apologize for and it's like, yo, listen, man, we got a lot of other stuff going on in our lives. Like there's no reason, you never have to apologize for those kind of things. And I tell people that all the time. It's like, hey man, I understand you got stuff going on in your life. Like don't feel guilty or something. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Butter.
No worries.
I had a lot of fun.
Once again, y'all, you already know, baby. We had a lot. We touched a lot of good topics. We had some good drinks together. Even though I was drinking water and you were drinking that tall boy. We talked about Squirtle got in the conversation.
Yeah.
got some people in the chat intrigued. And yeah, once again, Chase, I really appreciate the first podcast you inviting me on here.
Yeah.
And I wish you the best of luck with your future podcasts. And definitely don't hesitate to hit me up if you ever want to do another one, because we can just work out a time that works for both of us and just go from there.
Yeah, dude. Look, it's over. Like, people are upset, man. People are upset. Podcast ending. But guess what? If you want to catch the whole thing, YouTube, Friday morning. It's going to be up there. Yep.
You already know, baby.
Be easy to catch. All right. Yeah. I'll see you, man. Thank you so much. And everyone, thank you for tuning in. Subscribe. And I'll see you guys Sunday morning in the next podcast.
Yup. Thank you so much, Chase.
Yep.
You have an awesome rest of your night, brother.
Yeah, you too, man. Good luck with everything.